Yeah, I just realized my fucking notifications are still audible in the break and starting soon screens. So it just sounds like I guess John's playing Metroid Prime, like behind the scenes. Hey, Skylix TM, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Much appreciated. And you as well, Master G. Okay, I'm gonna give the community corner about another minute before I get this Q&A officially started. We'll probably go for about 2 hours as we usually do. Yeah, daylight savings time unfortunately hit me pretty hard as well. I ended up conking out pretty early. Like I went to bed not too long after I wrapped up the Pokemon Generation 2 Living Deck stream. So like I think around midnight 12:30 the latest, I conked out. And when I woke up, I looked at my phone and I think it was 5 in the morning. And my immediate thought was, 5 hours, like not the end of the world. But then I remember daylight savings time and I was like, oh wait, no, it was only 4 hours. Now, I couldn't go back to sleep, but I got back up, went down back to the office, and I started working on the script. But then, like, around 10 o'clock, I was like, I gotta get a fucking nap, dude. Honestly, my worst habit, and Blue Down, real quick, thank you for the gift bomb. Much appreciated. I can see your love and support. I'm still waking up if it wasn't obvious. My habit that I really wish I was better about is that sometimes I'll just keep fucking hitting the snooze button on my alarm, and I'll doze off for another 8 because my snooze button is set to like every 8 minutes, and it's like every 8 minutes I think, okay, this is gonna be the one where I'm finally gonna wake up, and it's like, nope, my ass just hit the snooze button again. And I think the worst I've ever been with the snooze button was me hitting the snooze button for about an hour and a half. Because my ass just did not want to get up, but my ass also did not care about dealing with the snooze noise every 8 minutes. I was right. Thank you for the tier 1. Now you got an item. Where did we warp to?
Is that the warp sound or the camera
That's
sound?
the camera noise. But answer my question.
We warped to the fucking flame section in other M, and
okay.
We're still not allowed to have the flame suit.
That's fine. You know, when you call it the flame suit, it really just sucks all of the mystique out of like the high sci-fi fantasy world of Metroid, and it's like, it's the Various suit. No, it's a flame retardant suit. Like, that's what it is.
That is what it is at the end of the day.
Okay. All right. It's been long enough. I think we have enough to get the Q&A started. First off, before we get things.
Also, daylight savings hit you hard.
Daylight savings going forward always hits me hard because you lose an hour of sleep.
I mean, it didn't hit me hard. I went to bed at 6 a.m.
Yeah, but think about it. If you went to sleep without daylight savings time, it would have been 5 in the morning. And think about that extra hour you could have gotten. No, seriously though. Like daylight savings time for me, we can just do without. I don't really mind the one where to push an hour back. Well, actually, I do because it always happens during a charity event. So that's a fucking lie. But before then, I didn't really mind that. Because I appreciated that extra hour of sleep. But at the same time, it also means I'm probably waking up at like 7 in the morning as opposed to 8. And I was like, well, fuck, this day is going to take forever. And that was the thing that I didn't like the most about growing up, was that the day that daylight savings time pushed an hour back felt like it went on for goddamn ever.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the one where it pushes the hours forward, I feel like the day goes by too fast. Like I'm already looking at the clock and it's already 5:30. And it's like, I still got a lot of shit to do tonight. So with that said, folks, we're ready to begin this month's Q&A sessions. Community Q&A is my way of just chatting with you guys for a couple of hours. My way of just like showing appreciation for your love and support for the community Discord, the Subshack. That's the name of the Discord. If this is your first community Q&A stream, if you've never been here, if the community Discord, the Subshack is the Discord you have access to by either subscribing to the Twitch channel or becoming a patron over at my Patreon, which is patreon.com/don'tcallmejohnny. In the Discord itself, there is a channel called the Community Corner. That is where everyone is leaving their question for me to answer. And I read them first come, first serve, top to bottom. All I ask is that you only ask one question at a time. Like, don't ask multiple questions in one prompt. And do not ask another until I already answered your question live on air. Also, just as a heads up, any sort of review questions, as in, are you going to review such and such and such and such? That is the most common question I get. We have a Nightbot command made exclusively for that question because I get it a lot. The answer is always going to be eventually for those because I don't plan on ever stopping doing the YouTube thing. I figured it's only a matter of time, especially if the demand is high enough. So, with that said, we are going to get... Actually, no, before we get started, I want to thank this video sponsor.
Discord is only for tier 2 subs. No, the Discord's open for all subs.
Yeah. Who said that? Tier 2 subs. No, you just got to be a Twitch sub. That's all you got to be. Could be tier 1, Twitch Prime. I don't go fuck as long as you get.
That was Looking Puppet.
There we go. I think for the Patreon, yeah, you have to be at least in the $5 tier because the $1 tier is just for tips.
Yeah,
essentially. Yeah. You got to be a tier 2 patron in order to get access. But that's like $5. So the same as a Twitch sub, essentially. So that's why I left it up to the tier 1. Yeah, because it's my way of filtering out shitheads. Basically, just like putting it out there is basically my way of filtering out shitheads. And I think it works for the most part. I know like the conversations can get pretty heated for silly reasons in some of the more dedicated boards in the Subshack, but I can usually keep boards. I usually keep track of how things are going with folks in the mod logs and the and what have you. And for the most part, I think you guys are pretty good. It's just I think it helps that people actually have to pay money to go into the Discord, so it makes it a nice natural filter. So anyway, let's continue. Let's get this thing started. So Belgian Woomy World trademark is asking, which is the better card game, Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic? Well, what the fuck is this tribalism shit? Okay, like which one's the better card game? Like Yu-Gi-Oh, you like Magic more? It's like, motherfucker, I can play both. And I feel right now it's too early for me to be making that kind of assessment, considering that I just started playing Magic a couple of months ago. What's that, a couple of months ago? It was like, it's been over 6 months at this point because I got into it with the Final Fantasy set. And since then, I've been very on and off with the game because physically I only have LA to play with. The last Magic session that I had was in MagFest, and that was over 2 months ago. Holy shit, it was already 2 months ago. I'm just reflecting on that now. And that was Magic is a great time. My only issue with Magic games is that despite I love the simplistic nature of the game itself, where everything takes time to build, as in you got to build your resources, and then the game just fucking takes off as you're spending all of that accumulated mana doing all your big plays. That said, I guess my only sort of problem I have with especially the Commander format is that games can run a little long. It is not uncommon for Commander games to go 45 minutes plus to an hour, especially if you got more than one person playing against you. But at the same time, Commander is also so chill that you can just have a conversation with your fellow players in the middle of it. It's essentially like a D&D session, but you're playing with Magic cards instead of just, setting up the campaign. So in terms of coziness, I would say Magic has the upper hand, but I'm never going to hate Yu-Gi-Oh! I hate what Yu-Gi-Oh! Has become, for sure, but that's only because I'm old, and I hate how combo-oriented the modern era has become with, one card extending into another card, which extends to another card, which have graveyard effects.
Dude, your
to
turn has been for 15 minutes.
No, like dead ass. Like the it's
more
a
self-destruct build anyway.
It is not uncommon for most games in today's age of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where the first 2 turns go for like 15, 20 minutes just because it's all board setup. And it's like, it's fascinating, but it's also boring as shit to watch. And I just don't like it. I want my games to be back and forth. I don't like when my game is one turn solitaire and the other player solitaire as they set up their games to set up the other solitaire. It's like, nah, it's not for me, buddy. I'll happily play both, especially for Yu-Gi-Oh! If it's like an older format, but I'm not going to say which one's better because I don't feel that's a good question to ask. Like, it's like, nah, I'll play both. What was that? I got your remote enabled again. Nintega 2000 is asking, since Poker Night is back up on Steam, do you have any intention of trying it? It has strong bad. I still haven't played Balatro at the time of this community
that's
stream.
Surprising.
Yeah, no, I still haven't played Balatro because I'm not interested in poker. And I know like Balatro's not really poker. It's kind of like a chaotic poker, whatever the fuck it is supposed to be.
Don't you have phones?
Yeah, I have a phone, but I don't really play games on my phone. I just use it to watch YouTube videos and masturbate to porn. But I don't really like play games on my phone anymore outside of Mario Run, and even then I barely play Mario Run anymore. But no, I'm not really a poker guy. I've never really been a poker guy because it's just poker doesn't really fascinate me. I'm more into the more whimsical, fantastical card games like Triple Tri. Give me that. I'll play that. Again, to go back to Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, I'll play that. But regular ass poker, Texas Hold'em, any sort of game you find in a casino, like I'm okay. I'm all right. I would never poke a woman, but Pokemon gives you those eyes. All right. The Panda
Hermit. Laws against the Pokemon Batman.
The Panda Hermit is asking, Django Unchained or Inglourious Bastards? Django Unchained and Inglourious Bastards. I don't know. It's like when you give me 2 movies, especially that I really like watching, like I'm not gonna pick one over the other. I'm gonna say both because I like both movies. Do I have a preference over one over the other? Slightly, but I like them for different reasons. Because they both handle this a similar topic, but they're different age periods. Like, Inglourious Basterds is set during World War II, and Inglourious Basterds is set during the Civil War era. Well, I'm not sure it was during Civil War or it was a little after the Civil War. But either way, you watch the movie for the same reason. Because you like seeing the hero get retribution for the shitheads that made their lives miserable. On a much grander scale in Inglourious Basterds' case. But Inglourious Basterds also runs on like an alternate timeline sort of thing. So it's more for just the cathartic feel-good factor of seeing Hitler mowed down with a fucking Tommy gun at the end of the movie. But also because, I'm blanking on his name. Both movies have, god damn it, what is his name? He plays the god damn it, I'm blanking on the guys. Was it Christopher Waltz? Yeah, I think it was Christopher Waltz. He plays, what did they call him? The Jew Hunter in the Inglourious Bastards was the nickname he hates. And he plays Dr. Schultz in Inglourious Bastards. And the Christopher Waltz is a phenomenal fucking actor. Like, he just sucks you in with his cadence, his acting prowess. You just love watching the movie for his stuff specifically. And I don't remember the runtime of Inglourious Bastards. I know Django Unchained runs pretty long. I think Django Unchained is actually close to 3 hours, if I'm not mistaken. I might be misremembering that. But fuck, it's worth it just for the stuff with Christopher Waltz. Also the KKK stuff with the pillowcases. Because that shit is legit fucking hilarious. Yeah, 2 hours and a half. Yeah, it's a pretty fucking long movie. But I think it's pretty damn good. So I will watch both. I'd absolutely recommend both. All right, Emil is asking, when it comes to RPGs, do you prefer when a character is meant to act more as a custom avatar for yourself, or rather its own within the story? With the difference being a character like an Elder Scrolls or a main character in Final Fantasy. I say this because I recently went and completed both of the first 2 Fallout games. I know you haven't really played any sort of Western RPG except Sonic Chronicles. and they are very low priority. So I'm curious how you would feel playing. Well, so I'm curious how you would feel playing one where the character is meant to be reflective of what you want, better than the character being reflective of their own. I mean, it doesn't even. But that's not something that's exclusive to Western RPGs. I mean, Zelda games. Zelda is a complete mute, and essentially acts as your avatar. Now, I know like Link is an established character in that game's universe, but outside of establishing that they're from such and such town, that's it. That's really all they could really go for that. And it wasn't until later games where they started making Link more of an individual outside of just being the player avatar. I don't think it's something necessarily that I would get more from Western RPGs. So my preference is that I would rather the character be its own character, because I like to be, I want to be along for the ride, as in I want to bear witness to this character's trials and tribulations, which is to say isn't to say you can't do that when the character is a complete silent protagonist. Like they're again, to mention, they're an avatar for your character, the player experience. But I think it's just maybe call it a bit of a laziness on my behalf, but I like it when the game does the work for me, in a matter of speaking. When the game already goes out of its way to set up rules and like the foundation for this character that I'm in control of, and now it's just a matter of seeing how that reflects on their journey of growth, their hardships, and how that will reflect the people that they end up recruiting or encountering along the way. You know, when a protagonist, or just major character, it could be, because it could be the antagonist as well, when the major character is left an open slate for you to just put all that stuff, then I feel you're required to do more homework, or at least do more work to give yourself a reason to give a shit about the character in question, which can work. You know, I'm not, Final Fantasy 14, it's a great example of that. Your character is the main character of that entire game, but what outside of setting up that you used to be a traveling adventurer, like before the game took place, and then as you go further into the expansion, you learn about the origins of your character's like original self. It is still entirely up to you on what you make of your character, and I have had immense fun just making up my own shit with my character. But at the end of the day, it is not my preference. I would rather just have a character made for me that I can just, bask, sit down, relax, and see what the writers have in store for me based on what they want to tell, and not necessarily what I want to see.
Did you have toys growing up as a kid?
Yes.
Okay, that explains a lot.
Why?
Oh, just like my generation onward, since video games were already pretty prevalent whenever we were kids, that kind of completely ruined any sort of creativity for a lot of us. And so we can't have that level of imagination whatsoever. I
mean, I don't know, but I feel you don't necessarily need toys. You don't need to have toys growing up to stimulate that imagination, because...
Well, I'm just saying in general, nowadays, parents just kind of throw
kids on the video game, the iPad, a lot of digital forms of entertainment that require the child to do nothing more than just look at a screen.
Yeah. Consume for stimulation.
Which is not to say that the screen itself does not have any sort of level of interaction, but the interaction never really calls for more than just using your hand or your finger to poke and prod a button on the screen.
Not creating your own stimulation, you're consuming stimulation as a product. Yeah.
It's a difference between the child playing the avatar of someone fucking around with the dead scorpion and the battery, and rather playing with the dead scorpion and the battery themselves. They like and bite. They like and bite. But the only reason why I push back against that a bit, because there are more active forms of stimulating a child's imagination growing up, rather than just having playtime with toys and all that. Hobbies also extend to that too, which is why I always encourage, especially if not that I don't know how much people I'm actually talking to here. If there's any parents here in the chat, were just maybe just had their kid and they're wondering what they're gonna end up doing in order to stimulate the child's imagination outside of like having toys, but also like start developing any interest in hobbies early. Like if they're into like drawing stuff, encourage that. You know, give them a pencil, give them parcel and pen, give them eraser. Like don't just immediately hand the tab. I know that's what we live in nowadays. I get that. It's just the age we live in. But I think there's something to be said about starting with more traditional ways first and then slowly working your way up that, like instead of just throwing them into the deep end, like so to speak.
Yeah, but at the same time, these are gamers. Like they either have never had sex before or they spend adopting a child would take away from the gaming fund.
I hate this universe. Combat is asking, sup Johnny, I really like the Super Mario 64 credits music. After hearing it used in a YouTube channel's final video, I realized that not only is it a nice tune, but it also has a stronger sense of finality compared to the other mainline Mario games. So my question is, do you have any video game ending / credits music that you really enjoy or resonates with you in a certain way? If we're keeping it strictly Mario, just for the sake of starting the conversation, I think my favorite end credits Mario theme might be Galaxy 2. Mario World comes really close because I think that theme exemplifies what a wonderful end to this journey that you experienced, which I think is what makes the Mario 64 theme work as well too. Because it's more melancholic because it's not as the Mario World ending theme is more triumphant. But the 64 theme is more, we worked hard to get to this point. Now let's just let us reflect on our journey. And the game itself does that because the credit sequence of 64 is literally just camera pans of all the levels that you've been through. It's very Zelda Link to the Past now that I'm thinking about it. But God, so what Mario immediately comes to mind, I would say Galaxy 2's ending, which is just a phenomenal orchestral send-off. Mario World. But if we're talking in general, like encompassing all games, this is where it gets really difficult because I have so many fucking examples. Link to the Past, the staff roll music, which is not really the ending theme, it's just more of the credits theme, but I think that counts. Majora's Mask, absolutely love that game's end credit score. It's just, well, Majora's Mask is just, it's just the chef's kiss, I would say. Final Fantasy. I think Final Fantasy might take the ticket though. If I had to choose one, just for the sake of conversation, it would be Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy VI
credits theme?
For a credits theme, yes. Final Fantasy VI credits theme, because the ending theme bleeds into the credits theme. And if you including that the ending theme is 20 minutes long. Because it chronicles everyone's personal journey of getting out of Kefka's tower, and then it goes into the Final Fantasy national anthem, and then the prelude, while seeing the world slowly starting to recover itself, and it's so fucking beautiful. Like it is legit. It brings me to tears every single time. I love it to death. You know. Do you have
That's hard to think of.
Yeah, no, music always is, you know, because I feel more than anything outside of a game or whatever media's you're currently digesting. Outside of the writing itself, the first thing you're likely going to resonate with the most is the music. And you really, sometimes I think you don't really think about it until you're put on the spot and you realize, fuck, there's a lot of shit I really like. But it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is you like about it, or could you pick one over the other for the sake of being able to choose what theme you liked over one or the other?
I want to say it's like, at least for me, I guess it doesn't like completely count, but the 1-2 punch of Don't Ever Forget and the actual end credits theme for the Explorers of Time, Darkness, and Sky, like that is just a heartbreaking 1-2 punch for the ending of that game.
Yeah,
Because I fucking cried at the end.
no, like a good credits theme is supposed to make you evoke this feeling of wonder, where, again, to go back to the Mario 64 example, look at this journey that you just experienced, and if you can resonate with that, like down to the soul, I think you did a great job. But it doesn't even need to be like a heartfelt, somber piece. You know, sometimes it's just a matter of getting you upped in jazz. It's like, fuck yeah, man, we did do that. Wajin Boy DX is, I think that's how you pronounce that, or Wajin Boy DX is saying Sonic CD Japanese ending theme, the Cosmic Eternity. I fucking love that song. I love that song because it's such a bop in itself, but also I like that it accompanies the ending animation. You know, where you see Sonic, where you see Little Planet free from its chains, it warps back into time, or at least goes to a different dimension. You see Sonic staring from afar, then he turns to the camera, he does that pose, and then it just goes back into, again, a chronicle of the adventure that you just experienced with a really fucking good soundtrack. You know, but that is a different feel. That is more just that is a celebratory, triumphant sort of theme that I think also has its place outside of just the melancholic somberness of a journey coming to an end. No, we've been on this question for a long time, so I should probably move on. Do you want to say anything else before we go on?
The only other thing I was going to say is like that's the funniest part about like Explorers of Sky's ending theme is that it's not like a somber piece at all. It's a very like triumphant piece.
Yeah.
But the way that they combo it into the actual like the ending themes of the game of like the ending elements of the game, it makes you fucking cry so hard. I know it's not technically the ending, it's the credits, but
it's still an ending.
Yeah. And like credits come up on it anyway.
No, you see, Atom Bomb, real quick, just to wrap this up on this one. You say Sweet Dreams from Sonic 06 is really good. The Sweet Dreams mix of Sonic 06, I actually don't like that much. I actually really like the original from Dreams Come True. I actually like more of the credits scene that plays after the end of the true story. I think I forget what the name of it is, but I think it's from the perspective of Princess Elise. It's a nice acoustic piece. You know, it's something you wouldn't think to hear in a Sonic game. It sounds more of an ending of an RPG. Or is it just called Elisa's theme? Am I just thinking too hard and it's literally just called Elisa's theme? No, like again, like if it is just that, then yeah, that's a great fucking a musical piece that I wish was attached to a better game. yeah, you know, it's really weird when 06 ended with that one. But all right, moving on. Otaku de Carnitas is asking, hey Johnny, it's been a bit. Been on the rise to recording footage from old games. Do you have a recommendation for what upscaler you use for the PlayStation 2? I've been trying to record Ace Combat footage to celebrate the series' 30th anniversary, and the fact 8 is coming out this year. Oh man, the upscaler that I use for if I'm recording straight from console, the upscaler I'm using is still the one I used like 10 years ago. I don't even know what the fucking brand is called because I bought it so long ago.
Was it like the $500 one?
No, you're thinking like the Scartmaster or the Scartmeister, whatever the fuck it's called. The Framemeister. Yeah, the Sharkmeister. No, I had the Framemeister for a bit, but I did not know how to utilize that. I ended up giving that to Ben, which I think he still has, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm not asking for it back. I just like he could use it. Yeah, but. No, like the HD converter that I ended up purchasing so long ago still works to this day. I just don't know what the fuck it's called. I can probably show it actually if you don't mind. I will be right back because I think it's literally inside the closet behind me.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Crush my pot with a rock I must. Maximum pain I must endure. Okay, here we go.
What'd you do?
The fucking Yoda cock and ball torture.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I've legit had this brand of video converter for over 10 years. I've had to get it replaced at the very least once, but this has been pretty reliable for me. It's just a video converter. That's literally all it says. But the important thing that I want to make note here, the reason why I would suggest something like this over outside of something that I'm pretty sure there's probably better alternatives than this one, but this one gets the job done. I will say, however, and maybe you can concur with me, is if you're going to get a converter, make sure it has an external power source.
Yeah.
You don't want something that feeds off of the power of the console that you're feeding it into, because the really cheap ones do that, and the really cheap ones break after 5 minutes. It is better to have a third-party add-on that has an external power source, so that way it draws from power from the grid itself, like the walls, rather than the console it's plugged into. And that's what this has. But yeah, this is the one I've been using. Literally anything that has an RCA output, I plug in here. If it also acts as an HDMI splitter because it has an HDMI in and out. It has a 720p 1080p switch. It's good. Like, obviously with converters, you always got to deal with the input lag. And I think like the input lag of this one is maybe like 1 or 2 frames, but it's pretty negligible, all things considered, unless you're playing like a super precise like 2D platformer. And it's cheap. I got this for like, well, it's cheap comparatively speaking. I think I spent like $100 on this one. Which I think that's well worth the investment. I'm not sure if they make these anymore though, because again, I got this so long ago. I don't even know who makes this. And the brand
fuck is a Dazzle?
And the branding is so generic. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. Do you still use Pinochle?
Oh.
Hey buddy, Hoppage.
Fucking, well, no, Hop Hog is still around.
Are they? That's insane.
Yeah, they're still around. Like a little bit anyway. Though AverMedia has been taking up their market share as of late.
AverMedia still makes stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually quite nuts. I used to have AverMedia for a bit because before Elgato made their own sort of a component capture, AverMedia was the only one that had it. Outside of Hoppage.
AverMedia, like they make a fuck ton of them. They honestly have the issue of too many options.
This is the last time I tried to go back to them, because I remember the HD60S wasn't out at that time. And I think AverMedia had the jump on them regarding that, but it ended up crapping out. And at that point, I just like, my trust was tarnished with AverMedia products. I've been almost exclusively Elgato since 2014.
There's one other one. There's like a new one on the block. I think they're called Genki or whatever.
Genki?
Yeah, like Genki.
This is based off. Okay, no, that's Ginkgo. I'm thinking of like the fish. Vagus Month, thank you for Twitch Prime. Much appreciated. I appreciate the Romani support.
Yeah, they make a couple different ones.
Yeah.
But they're like super tiny. They're a little weird. Because they do that, and then they make like miniature docks that are, the dock itself is entirely inside of the wall wart.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, so you plug like the switch into the wall, and then you also plug the HDMI cable into the wall. It's really weird.
Yeah, but I mean, at least it's getting reliable power.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on, Juan from Canada is asking, hey, John, been a while since I last asked in the Q&A. I didn't really have any questions to ask, but then today I want some advice from both you and the chat. So since last year, I started a controller stick drift repair business. And aside from a few bumpy rides, my business has been getting positive reviews. But a massive problem where customers in my area don't really visit my place to drop off their controllers or even reply back to my messages asking if anything is okay. So for all those running small businesses or doing any commission work, any solutions or advice that I should take to keep my home business healthy? So I am way out of my depth here in regards to your business type specifically, because you specialize, or you're specializing in repairing controller stick drift repair. And the only thing that comes to mind in regards to just making sure business is healthy is that I'm assuming are you advertising? Now, I don't know how you exactly advertise your line of work, granted, because it's not as if like you're selling laundromat machines or, you know, pushing used cars.
I mean, I will say that just as someone who works in customer service and has to get, you know, feedback from customers from time to time, or just correspondence from them, unless it's actively a problem that will cause an inconvenience to them in their life, they're not going to respond to you.
To me, it's just, more
that is pretty much how it is.
My personal problem, and then I say it's my problem because it's just the way my mentality is. So maybe people other resonate. When I'm dealing with something that's faulty, a controller especially, my solution is just to replace the fucking thing.
Yep, and that's exactly why.
Like my immediate thought is not to send it to a dedicated repair shop. More like, it's easier for me to go to a Walmart or a Target, buy a new controller, and come back home in 10 minutes. That way I don't have to deal with the middleman, so to speak, of taking my controller in for a repair. Even though, like, I know probably in the long run, it's probably easier on the wallet. I don't know. It depends on your rates. I don't know what you're charging. But I think most people are just fine with just replacing the controller wholesale instead of just getting it repaired. That said, I think there's also something to be said about just promoting your line of work. I don't know if you already do that. I'm going to assume you do, because I think everyone that's trying to run a small business, no shit, you got to do advertising. But I also think how aggressive you are with the advertising also speaks volumes as well. And all I can really say is that I wish you the best of luck with your small business, because, you know, you want to see it succeed. But at the same time, you really got to put in the work to make sure people know that you're actually doing this for your business. And sometimes that requires, you know, fucking slipping in a bit. You know, like when the pizza delivery guys drop off menus at your mailbox. You know, it's not so much to them giving you a menu for something to eat. It's also they're using that to advertise their business. So it's a matter of maybe you need to be a little more aggressive with the advertising. And depending on how that goes, again, I wish you the best of luck, JC. I hope that goes well for you, and I wish you nothing but the best for it, because that's really cool. Like, honestly, I think the fact that you're even starting a small business, even for something for like a controller stick repairs, is nice. It fits a niche that I don't think a lot of people would consider doing, but it's nice to know that someone would do it. So again, all I can do is wish you the best of luck, and hopefully this conversation did something. I'm not sure, or maybe we just wasted your fucking time. Santiago is asking, related to the Pokemon stream yesterday. Sorry, Jimmy. Without zinc for the rotary mechanism, there are no telephones. Dear God, what have I done? Think again, Jimmy. You see the firing pin in your gun was made out of, yep, zinc. Come back, zinc. Come back! Happy Women's Day to all, especially the ones who are here in the stream's chat. Also, fuck daylight savings. Anyway, hope everyone's doing good. My question for today is, with RE9 done, is it safe to assume the next RE game will be a remake? But which one would you want to see the most? Personally, I want Code Veronica, since the game that will benefit since the OG was pretty flawed in many ways, and could be a good way for the devs to test the water for a multiplayer experience that could lead into a RE5 remake, which I personally don't want, but it's safe to assume Capcom is going to do anyway. It's funny how you just completely ignore Resident Evil 0.
Zero has been all but confirmed to be getting the next remake.
Because you say multiplayer Claire could be a way of them testing out RE5, and I get it, because you got the Chris and Claire dynamic. But before there was Chris and Sheva, there was Rebecca and Billy, and I mean, the rumor that Code Veronica and Zero were next up on the remake docket has been a thing since 2 remake. No, I want to say since 3 remake.
Well, Zero has even more credence now.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Well, there's an actor who like updated his LinkedIn to say that he was working on like Project Chambers.
Yeah.
And then he removed it.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I wonder if there's a character in Resident Evil that's named Chambers.
Meanwhile, Capcom is just like, fuck, man, we can't trust any of these shitheads because you got this Dan Southworth just fucking spoiled that we're working on a DMC5, and this guy is saying that we're remaking Zero. But
I mean, it could be worse. It could be like Persona 4 remake.
Yeah.
Where literally all the VAs were like, yeah, I'm not being brought back for the remake. And everyone's like, remake?
What remake? Oh no. I am going to get fired. But no, I'm not, I think I've said it time and time again that I would absolutely love to see Code Veronica Zero. Resident Evil Code Veronica and Zero, I think, are the two that deserve the remake the most, if only because I want to like Code Veronica more and I don't. I think Code Veronica is a slog. I think Code Veronica is a slog to get through. I think its story is kind of there, and I do not like the characters. I hate Steve to death. Just fling him to the fucking Arctic Ocean, dude. I do not care for Steve. But a remake could take the opportunity to make Steve a character I actually give a shit about, make him a little more sympathetic. I think they're still you still got to kill the bastard, you know. And I kind of like low-key hope they just still make them the Jolly Green Giant for whatever that happens. But you can make a character more likable or more sympathetic to the cause and still keep him a shithead. But I think Steve was a shithead for the wrong reasons. He was more of a whiny prick that I don't resonate with because all he does is just whine and creepily ogles Claire.
He's a Redditor.
He's a Redditor, yes. He's a Redditor with 2 guns. God help us. Zero, on the other hand, is a game I really wanted to like more, but fuck that game's inventory system.
Inventory system, yeah.
That game's garbage inventory system is really what knocks the whole fucking game down several pegs. And it's like, in a modern environment, I can see the co-op system being much more streamlined, and that's what I consider the most. Also, like the grappling hook just needs to be a fucking additional button and not like a thing that takes up 2 inventory slots.
Zero also has like the unfortunate problem of like, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
It all takes place on a train. Like there's not really much we can do with that.
I mean, it's only in a train for like the first part, and after when the train stops. But this the grappling hook stuff, the inventory stuff. Yeah, that's right. You guys are saying add an item box, please. That game does not have item boxes. The game just does not have item boxes. You're supposed to leave shit on the floor. Leave shit on the floor for Billy to grab, and then Billy picks it up, and then he leaves shit on the floor for Rebecca to grab, and Barry picks it up. It's like, holy fucking shit, dude. This is ugh. A remake though would fix all of that. However, I'm not sure if those are coming up next, or maybe they're giving it to separate devs. I think the next big thing is they're going to remake 1. And
But we already had a remake.
we're going to do another remake. The remake. No, wait, you can't say the remake because RE already stands for Resident Evil, so the remake.
No, that stands for Reach for the Moon.
Oh, okay. Well, they're going to do it anyway. And you know, I'm not going to be that much of an old guy and say that the original remake is already perfect. You don't need to do anything with it. At the same time, the original remake is also so against the grain of what Resident Evil has become. And I still think you can still elicit and emulate that feeling of dread and horror that the original remake is so great at, while still keeping the camera angle more consistent with the camera angles of 7 and 4. You know, do they go first person completely like in 7? I don't want them to personally. I'd rather just keep it over the shoulder. But or maybe they can just do the 9 thing and give us a choice. You can just
curls in the monkey's paw. You will get your rubber dogs replaced with AI dogs.
I'd rather take the rubber dog. Yo, this dog's fucking shaking like a rubber chicken, but at least I know he's real. So either way, I would like to. I would more than anything want a Code Veronica and Zero remake. And you know, so we're talking this entire thing is like we haven't even touched the aspect of a 5 remake, which is also. I mean, they're gonna remake all of them at some point, even 6. Do you think they remake 6? I don't know if they remake 6.
No, they'll remake Deadly Silence.
The first game again. But I think maybe there's a part of me that feels the remake docket will stop at 6, and I don't know. I don't know what you'd have to do to 6 to make it better, because that game is already way too fucking long as it is. Maybe you can start remaking some of the spin-off games, like remake Outbreak, since the Outbreak has ties to 9, I believe, right? So you can use that as a foundation to remake a game that people normally wouldn't give the time of the day because it's not a mainline Resident Evil game. Not Revelation. I think Revelations and Revelations 2 are just fine. I think the oldest games like Code Veronica and Zero are the ones that I need the most.
I need to fix Operation Raccoon City.
No, absolutely not. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of a. Wait, was it Operation? Was that the third person shooter?
Yeah, that was. So it's like a SOCOM.
Yeah.
TF2, not TF2. Left 4 Dead style game.
Yeah.
And it is fine for that.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a good Resident Evil game.
At that point, it's like, why would I play it? Yeah, but you're getting the game because of the brand that it's attached to, and if it's not anything like the brand it's attached to, why are you getting it?
I mean, Metal Gear Rising, people bought it, even though it's not anything like the brand it's attached to.
Yeah, but I think there is some leeway with that, given that it's not Metal Gear Solid. Like, it's Metal Gear Rising. I think the name is all that matters, but that thing is still called Resident Evil.
They're all called Resident Evil.
Yeah, but...
And they're all called Metal Gear.
They should have just said Biohazard. I think people would have been able to swallow that pill a little better. Hey, we're going to move on. Joyama is asking, hi, John, I just wanted to share this, but I had a dream where you were a teacher for a class, and anyone who was late to your class would change their name to a form of Elliot for the day. Example, Elion. or Elio. My mind phonetically read that as Ellie1, as in you are number 1. Anyway, another OC question. With your Pokemon Living Dex done for Gen 2, what was Joan's main 6 out of the current Pokemon available overall? I think the team that we made at the end of last night's session would be her team. Maybe if you didn't want to like be redundant in terms of like us sharing Pokemon between teams, replace Raichu with Ursaring. Because Joan is a warrior and she has access to the inner beasts and she loves bears. So I would say if you remove the personal favorite Pokemon that I love, you replace the Raichu with Ursaring. Which we could probably still do. I mean, we can probably like change that for later. But I appreciate the question. Yeah. Thank you very much. Let me see. Ronan is asking, "Hey John, sorry for posting my question early. It's okay. Nobody reads. You're far from the only one. Do you play review? Do you plan on reviewing RE9 after Order of Ecclesia when you revisit Resident Evil for the spin-offs? So no, Resident Evil 9 will be a one-off. I want to review that later this year, just not now, because I don't want to take time out of what I want to do for the 15th anniversary stuff for a singular Resident Evil.
Going to be a Mercenaries mode?
Yeah, that's also the point that the game is probably going to be updated within the year, and I hate when I have to look at a game and then like the next day a Mercenaries mode is activated or a DLC is like fuck, like, well, I can always do a round 2 for sure, no. But it's also like I'd rather just talk about the game wholesale right now. If I'm being real,
what you do,
yeah, what's up?
Is you record the review, get it done and everything, and wait for them to drop the. Wait for them to announce the Mercenaries mode or DLC or whatever. Right. And that's when you publish the review. And then everyone in the comment section is going to be like, oh no, the video's dated. Oh no, he doesn't know that they just announced new content. And hey, guess what? That's engagement, baby. That's going to push the fucking video.
So you're thinking like a YouTuber. But I hate thinking like a YouTuber. Now, sometimes I do think like a YouTuber. I want to understand. Sometimes I will deliberately provoke in a script, not just for a laugh, but to hear you guys like contest or argue or start a discussion in the comment section. But I don't make that a focal point of my videos, but sometimes I will deliberately say shit that's kind of off kilter just to get a reaction out of you guys. Because at the end of the day, if the viewer is not getting, if the channel is not getting any sort of engagement, the channel gets killed, and now suddenly no one's seeing my shit. and I do this for a living, but I also don't want to be so fucking YouTuber pilled where I'm now suddenly capitalizing random words on a title to get you guys to look at it because it's striking. You know, it's like there's only a couple of times where I've broken the rule with that, and that is when I reviewed like Mortal Kombat Special Forces. The video is not called Johnny versus Mortal Kombat Special Forces. It's called Johnny versus the game that broke him. And I don't think the video would get nearly as many views if I called it Mortal Kombat Special Forces, if being real. I think the title was carrying that video, if I'm being real. But I don't really make it a thing to do that because I personally view it as insincere. And I don't like to be insincere with my video titles, my thumbnails, unless I think I can make an interesting bit out of it. But I don't most of the time because I don't like doing that. So... You know, no. So True Sonics, to answer to your point, at a random point in the latest Sonic review, Sonic has gone woke. See, you capitalized too many words there. You only got to capitalize woke in that example because that's what people do. They only capitalize one word out of a phrase to make it stand out. It's the word that you will be fixated on and is likely a buzzword that you don't know what it actually means. But fuck, it doesn't matter if other people do. They already clicked on the video to let you know that you're wrong. And that's viewer engagement, baby. Subscribe to my Patreon. What do you do there? Not a goddamn thing. Okay, moving on. General Godzilla is asking, good evening, Johnny. I was wondering, what are the most difficult challenges, fair or otherwise, that you remember tackling in the games you played? For me, I remember Feral Chaos, that's a name I haven't heard in a while, in Dissidia Duodecim, and that overinflated health bar. I had to do that fight twice thanks to the corrupted save wipe. Oh, Jesus Christ, I didn't even know Duodecim had a corrupted save problem. It was like Soul Calibur 3 if I had to take a guess. The most difficult challenges, fair or otherwise, that you remember tackling the games you played. I mean, are we talking about... Do we want to keep it streamlined and simple? Like, do we just want to keep it to like Twitch streams that we've done? Because if we're talking about games, every game that I played, I'm pretty sure there's countless examples I can think of. But let's keep it to examples that I've visibly struggled with on Twitch playthroughs. Critical mode level 1, critical mode level 1, Kingdom Hearts 2. That gave me my collective share of shit. And I want to stress, I still immensely enjoyed my time with that playthrough. That playthrough went on long, but fuck, I think it's interesting when you look at it from what is clearly a super fucking casual Kingdom Hearts 2 player, slowly learning how the inner machinations of the game's combat system work so that he can finally at some point win the day. It just takes a while to get there. But I still had a lot of fun doing that. On the opposite end of the spectrum where it's like, fuck this, I'm never doing this again, Octopath Traveler. Because, god damn it, that was so, like, it was going so well. And then the final chapter boss gauntlet bullshit with the two-phase final boss that can just one-shot your group through no fault of your own, just ruins your goddamn day, and it spoiled me it soured me on the entire experience. And I know that is being very melodramatic. I want to stress, I know that, but goddamn, like, it frustrated me to the point where it's like, god damn it, dude, that was dumb. That was so goddamn stupid. I hate that they went with this decision, and this game that I was looking at was going to be a 9 out of 10 is now a goddamn 2. I am angry.
Yeah. Whenever an ending is really bad, that is the worst.
It's not even so much like, if I didn't even get to see the ending.
So that's what I mean. Like, so without getting into like major details, despite the game already being, I think, like 4 or 5 months old now, Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Okay.
The final boss, I absolutely fucking hate.
Oh, Jesus.
Because you do the final boss, you do like this little platforming challenge to get to the final boss. You beat him. Then the credits roll. And then you fight him during the credits. You beat him. You think the game's done with. You get sent through another fucking huge platforming challenge. You fight him again, except this time the floor is lava and he two-shots you.
I think you just spoiled who the final boss is for me, actually.
What? How?
You tax during the credits. And you think Donkey Kong, I think there's only one person I know that does that, and that's King K. Rool. That doesn't really matter because I wasn't going to play DK Bonanza for a while, so I don't really care. But also, Twitch chat is also saying
well, people saying that's a callback.
Blue Dino is also giving up the game saying that one's a callback. I'll call back to who? I'll call back to who, Blue Dino?
I wouldn't know if that's a callback or not because I've not played that game. So I didn't Yeah, so like I didn't know that's a callback, so how would I know?
That's on me because I've taken so long to play the game. It's not fair for me to say, stop, you shut the fuck up and don't talk about it on that sort of shit. But it's also like, I was going to play it at some point or other, but it's okay. Like, it's Donkey Kong.
But also at the same time, you know, Sigma's the final boss.
Yeah, well, hey! You're not supposed to say that out loud. No, I got a good feeling about this gate fella. just give me some time, baby. Okay.
No, just doing that, and he two-shots you at the end.
Jesus Christ. Well, yeah, you give him
the worst part is that, like, it sends you back to the platform challenge that you have to do to get to that point.
Yeah.
But if you turn the game off, it sends you all the way back to the very first one.
Oh, Jesus.
You have to redo that entire 30
sequence.
minutes.
Okay, so there's no checkpoints.
Yeah, no, it fuck that. Whenever because I turned the game off to take a break from it, came back to it, it sent me all the way back. I said, no, fuck you. If you're not going to respect my time, I'm not finishing your game.
Gets a refund immediately. Okay, moving on. Saber and Silver. Hey, John, I hope you're doing well. Apologies, Smoke was my question earlier. I'm very sorry. With Jackass 5 supposedly releasing in June. With Jackass, I didn't know there was 5 Jackass movies supposedly releasing in June. I've been curious on what you think about the Jackass movies. Those guys are over 50 and still risking their lives. Man, I'm gonna be real, Saber and Silver. I haven't watched Jackass since the early aughts. I did watch the series for a time growing up because that was back in my wrestling heyday. And what were these jackasses doing? Was that what did you say? I'm sorry, I wasn't sure if you said
keep going. I'm interested to hear how this relates to wrestling.
Oh no, because it was a bunch of dudes doing a bunch of goofy stunt shit. And what is wrestling if not a bunch of dudes doing a bunch of goofy stunt shit with a storyline?
Oh, okay.
Because back then, especially in the late 90s and early aughts, my family and I, we're all into watching a lot of fucking junk food on TV. Jackass, wrestling, Fear Factor, game shows, you name it. Yeah, and when I'm just ingesting stuff, like I'm just watching a lot of bright, colorful shit that stimulates my mind. But back then, we just watched all of that fucking what could be considered lowbrow entertainment. But I found it funny, and that's why I kept watching it. But
slop.
That was also, I mean, really, you just saying the quiet part out loud. It is, but at the same time, I also haven't really watched anything Jackass related after. I was actually after the first movie, so I didn't even know there was movies after that. No, because I did see commercials for Jackass 3D. I think that was one. Now the balls and testicles really feel like they're touching your face. No, I mean, but that the fact that they're still wanting to put their bodies on the line for especially that, because I know for a fact that they're still in it to win it because there was, I'm just remembering what WrestleMania was it? It wasn't that long ago, but it was the Jackass crew going against Sami Zayn, and it was just a promotional match to promote the next movie. Actually, yeah, it was to promote the next movie. Now that I'm thinking about it. It was silly, but it was funny. Like there was just something funny about seeing Sami Zayn getting smacked with a large fucking prop hand. And it's good to see that they're still in it to do a lot of goofy physical, because I love physical slapstick. I love people. I just love some people get hurt, in a controlled environment.
I'm just surprised that they're even still doing this. And that they haven't been pushed out of the medium due to short form content and people doing that on TikTok and shit.
I don't know, because I think there should be something. There's something to be said about doing something silly and whimsical on a TikTok short and dedicating your craft to fucking yourself up. Now, granted, I don't ingest short form content. I don't have a TikTok. I don't make YouTube shorts. So I don't know what the more prolific creators on those platforms do to get attention. But is it anything
break
like
the law, hurt themselves, hurt others, mean pranks, trespassing?
See, there are parallels to the Jackass series with that. But I think because it's in a controlled, scripted environment, I think everyone's in on the bit outside of like the occasional audience interaction has no idea what the fuck is going on. Meanwhile, I think in today's climate, and again, I'm just spitballing here, I don't actually know, but that's why you guys are here. It's more just engagement bait. The point is to see the reaction to this stunt rather than the stunt itself. Am I close? Am I on the ball on that one, or is it mainly a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
It's definitely not as like scripted in a like. If someone, the likelihood of someone like actually getting genuinely hurt is low. It is very much these are just your average man doing this, and your average man's kind of fucking stupid.
Yeah. I don't know, like, it's not, I'm always down with physical slapstick. I still watch Three Stooges sketches to this day. But it's not something I really prioritize now than I used to like 20 years ago. But I hope that answers your question, Saber and Silver. Gamer is asking, hey, John, hope daylight saving time has been rough on you. Yeah. What piece of media that you were recommended, movies, games, shows, etc., and no matter how hard you try, you just couldn't click with you?
League of Legends.
No, League of Legends I just refuse to touch with a 10-foot pole from the get-go. That is a nope. That is, so to go a little further into that, because maybe I need to just remind, so there are only a handful of games off the top of my head that I refuse to ever touch and never reviewing. And one of them is League of Legends. And that is because since time immemorial, especially since we started going in the Discords, I have had too many friends of mine that play League of Legends that will just unironically say, do not play League of Legends. Because it is if you're not in the competitive mindset for the kind of game that League is, and League is League a MOBA? I don't remember exactly what genre League is.
League, bot lane, stuff like that. So
it's something like that.
Technically a MOBA.
Yeah. All of them, unironically, not even as a bit, not even a haha, like, nah, everyone's a shithead. More like, no, the community fucking sucks in this game. Like, you will not find a greater cesspit of humanity's hatred and evil stew that will call you every fucking name under the sun for not just a bit, but because they personally want to see you fucking leave or die, or maybe a combination of both. All of my friends have said this. And my immediate response is, why are you playing the game? And I think it's just because of sunk cost fallacy, maybe because they genuinely are able to enjoy playing it, or maybe they're able to ignore, filter it, or maybe they're dead inside. Who knows?
But that's just any fandom, though.
But I've never heard so much vitriolic hatred than I have with League compared to anything else. Like with WoW, I'll hear the occasional thing you hear, but also I'm not sure with like MMOs, especially because sometimes I feel it's just shitheads just trying to get you to play one MMO over the other without really like considering that maybe there are good things about World of Warcraft. Or when you have WoW heads trying to get to get out of Final Fantasy 14 because they will just highlight the negative aspects of the most shitheaded people in 14's community. A bad
like
faith, I guess, basically. It's like a bad faith conversations.
That's fandoms in general, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally just, like, this past week had a dude who got banned from his hobby, his hobby job, fired from his actual job, sent death threats and everything, all because he wanted to donate to charity. And this was the Helldivers 2 fandom.
I'm starting to think certain Helldivers 2 players don't understand the word satire or parody or media comprehension.
And so it's just fandoms in general.
It is. You're absolutely right. That's like no fandom is it's excluded from this. But there are. I think I can comfortably say that there are some that are way worse than others. And for me, League is one of those games because I never hear anyone talk positive about League's community. Like the only sort of positive thing I'll ever see in regarding League is just the world of League itself. The game,
they make some great porn.
They make okay. Like if you're talking exclusively inside of the world of League of Legends, like the characters you play, the worlds you travel, then that's fine because I'll see fan art for all that everywhere, including porn. Yes. That Arcane thing that I think was a Netflix show, whatever. I think that is a League of Legends thing. I heard that's fine. But more often than not, I'm not hearing League in that context. I'm hearing League because of, hey, these people, the players playing it are pieces of shit and you shouldn't touch it. I was like, I'm not going to because I have no interest in it. I'm no interest in engaging with that community. I have no interest in playing the game itself because it's not really my cup of tea. That's honestly where I draw a line on that one. And that's just that's really all she wrote with that. In terms of like the games, I know like you said, piece of media. In general, and I can think of like movies. I tried to get into James Bond. I can't do it. James Bond bores me. Television shows. It's mostly sitcoms that people try to recommend me, and I can't do it because comedy is subjective, and I don't really. When I'm recommended something, I don't really find it funny. People try to get me to watch Big Bang Theory. It's like fuck you. Nope, not doing it. And that's about it. That kind of like just that's me just kind of spitballing the things that come off the top of my head.
Yeah.
All right. Ryan Hypernova. Yeah, thank you. Hey, John. So sorry if this is a bit personal, but something that I've always wondered. How far apart in age are you and your Uncle Greg? I only ask because having followed him on Twitch for quite some time now, he doesn't seem that much older than you. I guess I've always wondered how that works with him being your uncle, since I think when most people think uncle or aunt, I think of someone who's like 20 plus years older. Again, sorry if this is a bit personal. I'm a bit of a nosy bitch and I'm genuinely curious. Gets the fucking notepad. Like, he's about to answer the fucking uncle question. Uncle and I are 9 years apart. And let me see. Is it not? Yeah, it's about nine and a half years apart because he was born in 76. I think it was 76 or 77. But we're not that far off apart. Yeah, no, yeah. It was 77. He was born in 77. And
there could be instances where you're actually like, or not like your situation, but just in general, where you could be younger than your uncle.
Yeah, especially if your mom or your dad had your grandmother, I guess, had a new kid while you were already born.
Yeah,
that's very possible. So, I mean, the fact of the matter is that my grandmom had uncle. Well, the uncle was the last kid. Because my mom is 20 years older than I am. And my aunt is not that much older. No, a little younger, but uncle is the youngest of the lot. I mean, sometimes it's just a matter of like, but the reason why my uncle is not that far apart from my age is because my mom had me at a pretty early age. She was only 20 when she had me. Like she was just 2 years removed from high school when she had me, and Fuck no, because that would mean that she would be. She was likely. No, because now I'm thinking about it. She was 19 when she conceived me.
No, I'm remembering something my math teacher told me in my junior year, where he was just like, "Hey, you guys need to be prepared for whenever you graduate and begin living in the real world and stuff. Don't realize, sometimes your relationships might end or whatever whenever you get out of high school.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may start new relationships when you get out of high school. It may very well be that the love of your life is sitting right here next to you in this classroom right now. Or in my case, the love of your life hasn't even been born yet."
Why'd you have to phrase it like that? You see, I was gonna make a sweet, innocent remark of me just staring at my hand and giving my hand the eyes. But it's also like, when you phrase it that way, it's kind of fucking gross, teacher.
You're implying that there's like a 16-year age gap between you and your wife.
What do you do for a living, sir?
What?
Yeah, that would be like my immediate response. If I heard my teacher say some of that shit like that, I'm immediately glancing at everyone else in the class and was like, he just said that, right? But no, it's like, I'm not sure how common it is, but yeah, the fact of the matter is that my mom had me at a pretty young age. She was 19 going on 20 when she had me. And it did kind of like alter or at least set my perception of how old parents, the age gap of parents and children should be, because when I went to go visit my roommate's parents when I went to college the first time, I'm going to assume I didn't really ask because, that's not really an icebreaker conversation. But when I met his parents for the first time, I thought they were his grandparents. It was like, they looked hella old. I think because they probably had him maybe they were like 30 or 40 years old.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's probably the general age frame when people want to think they have kids, when they think they have enough money to settle down and like start a new family. But no, my mom was like, nope, she had me because that's when she decided to have me. And now, as a result, we're not. I mean, 20 years is still a considerable gap. I want to say, like, it's still a considerable fucking gap, but it's not the same as like
30.
Yeah, 30 or 40 years. As I would see a lot of other people around.
40 is very, yeah.
Yeah, that's pushing it.
I just feel bad because by the time that they are, your kids are starting their journey in life, they're having to start taking care of you.
Yeah. And like, you say that though, like, but it's also like, I go back to when my mom had me, but at the same time, I think about like I was in high school and that like there were several girls that I knew that are already pregnant, like around 16, 17 years old. And it's like, I'm glad you you want to keep the baby, you go right ahead. It's ultimately up to you and how you want to proceed with your life. But it was also
in your state.
Yeah, Pennsylvania. I'm not entirely sure what the laws are about, like abortion or about that sort of thing, but
this question took a turn.
No, like because it just kind of like goes into different questions. Like just thinking about it, like interrupting myself and that sort of shit, and it's like I just can't help but ramble on that sort of shit. But it's also like I don't know what it is about. It's like it's just a different perspective, I guess.
Yeah, people who have like kids in their 50s, that's fucking wild, man. Because when they're 20, like Jesus Christ.
I hope you're a cardio nut. Because there's no fucking way I think your heart can take childbirth at the age of 50.
Damn. Yeah, Ryan Hyperdove was saying Janet Jackson popped out a kid at age 50.
Age 50. Oh, holy shit. Okay, well, we're going to move on from this. JDude93 is asking, hey, John, I hope you're doing well. My two-part question is, which of these... my two-part question is...
You only get one.
You only get one. It's like, people don't read. Is, which of these RPGs would you recommend to newcomers to the genre? Final Fantasy IV, Chrono Trigger, Pokemon Heart Gold Silver?
Pokemon, like that's the easiest
Pokemon.
RPG.
Pokemon is literally baby's first RPG. So I would probably say of those three, you'd probably better off starting there. At the same time, I'm a Final Fantasy nut, so I'm going to say Final Fantasy 4 out of a preference and bias. But Chrono Trigger is also Chrono Trigger. They're all good. Like I just say, I just to quickly rack this up because it's a really simple question. I'd say all three. But if I had to choose one over the other, just for the sake of getting your feet wet into the RPG genre, then I would say Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver because Pokemon doesn't ask for much mechanically speaking. Final Fantasy 4 can still sneak up on you a couple of times, but it's a very linear game. And it's you're literally told where to go every single time, and it doesn't ask for much in terms of like thinking power. You just got to know how to level up and grind for a bit. That's really it. But I would say Pokemon easily. We're talking about good games, guys. I'm not Mystic Quest. No, Mystic Quest is not good. It's got a great soundtrack, but that game is not good. Like it is technically, baby's first RPG, but that shit, no, that's not baby's first. That is fetus first RPG. That game just requires you to hit a button. That is literally it. Like you can just mash A. I think you can finish that fucking game. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, SGM92 is asking, hey John, what would you like to see in Pokemon Gen 10? SGM, what the fuck are you doing? Asking me like as if I follow Pokemon.
Winds and waves. And Walmart workers.
I haven't played. I want to reiterate. I've played the last Pokemon Gen I played was Sun and Moon, and that was nearly 10 years ago. I think it was over 10 years ago at this point. And I have the last most recent Pokemon game I've played was Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, but those were just Gen 1 remakes. I don't.
It's 10 in November.
It's 10 in November. So 10 years this year. So close to 10 years at this point. I have not played any other Pokemon Gen after that. I completely ignored Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, the Switch games, all that. Not played a single one of them. And I don't plan on to for a long time. I've not played Legends. I have not played ZA. None of it. I just fell off the Pokemon train real fucking hard. I'll go back to it for a review. And I'll give a perspective on that one, see what I think about it then and there. But I'm just not into Pokemon as much as I used to be. And the same goes for this new gen that's coming out. I don't care. And that all I can really say is I hope people that are looking forward to it enjoy it. I've already seen tons of fan art of the 3 starters. That's usually what happens when new Pokemon generations announced. You see the starters everywhere. And it's cute. It's good. People are excited.
I keep seeing fan art of the female the female character you play as a Walmart worker because their fucking hat.
It's good.
Really looks
we're at the sweet period where everyone is sharing their love and anticipation for the next Pokemon Gen. Where then when the game comes out on that very night, people are going to bitch that this game was never good and people were stupid because it happens every fucking gen. And I'm an outsider looking in, but I can't help but notice patterns. So either way, I hope you guys enjoy yourselves, and I hope it's worth the investment. We're gonna move on though. Mega Master 1021 is asking, "Hey John, do you think we're at a point of community stuff we're at the point of community made stuff being more well praised than official stuff?" I think it depends on what community made stuff we're talking about comparatively to the official stuff. Because while I love, let's use Sonic Triple Trouble as an example. I think Noah Copeland and the team behind the scenes made a wonderful fucking recreation of Sonic Triple Trouble from the Game Gear. I think it's insincere to say that this beats any sort of official game out of the water because it's apples and oranges. That would be to completely ignore the context of the games in which they're created. It's I don't know, what do you think?
This is gonna need a bit of setup, but you have a black coffee, a bitter black coffee, and you have foam right on the top, like sweet cream foam.
Sure.
people are liking the sweet cream foam on the top. They're not touching the black coffee. And that's what's happening with community made stuff. 90% of it does not get finished.
Hold on. Is this an app comparison?
5% of it just isn't good. And so it's just the cream of the crop is what people are playing, really.
Sure, but I think in this conversation, it's not applicable because the cream of the crop was not put there by the community. That was a part of the coffee order.
I mean, I get it. I get what you mean. But like, it's just most people who are consuming fan works that are super great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're playing like one thing out of hundreds that you're ignoring.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you don't really get that with official releases because official releases are just, that is what it is. There isn't a fuck ton of shit that you're not seeing, because if you aren't seeing it, it's because it was canceled forever ago and they just never bothered with announcing it. Or
Also,
just never got pitched.
Completely just investing in community aspect of projects does not keep a series living.
Yeah.
Because if you're not buying the official shit, that series dies. Yeah. Which is why it frustrates me when I'll see the discussion going about where it's like, look at what this one person can do that an official team can never do. Which is like, this is why like you just let community like members like make the games for you, and it's like, shut up. First off, that community game took about 15 years to come out because it's only one person working on it. So if you're willing to wait 15 years between every game, that's on you. That's fine.
20+ years in my case.
You know, but at the same time, you also have to realize that just delving into the community aspect of games, as well crafted as it may be, I don't want to pull the rug from under community created games that are fantastic. They are, because again, the people can really make some great shit off the foundation of games that officially exist. Without the official games, these games don't exist in the first place. First off, so I think that's another argument people don't consider. You know, but people want to be rah. You know, devs don't really care for the player community base, and it's like, shut the fuck up. But without the official games being there, there's no community game to make from it. There's no quality of life thing that you could make from it. And I think to immediately dismiss it just because it is an official game that may or may not do the thing that you want it to do over the quality of life community thing that does the thing, I think is just is foolish.
Yeah.
So I'm saying what people have been always saying from the get-go when it comes to making, I mean, even devs tell you this, like even the community center devs tell you this, assuming they're not liking shit behind a Patreon.
Hey, Greg.
Please support the official release. They tell you that because if you do not support the official release has stopped getting made, and now there's no more of that series.
Oh, that. No, yeah. Don't support the official release. Support me. Pay me for my fan game of this IP I don't own.
Yeah. And if they take it down, it just means I won. How's it going, Uncle? I see you in the chat. Much appreciated. We're just talking about, well, the question was, are we at a point where community-made stuff is being more well-praised than official stuff? Again, like I would say, I don't know, it's hard to gauge that. I want to celebrate any game that's good, community or official otherwise. I think whether or not it's community or official, like as a foundation, is kind of irrelevant, unless it. Actually, no, it's just straight up irrelevant. Like I think it's just a matter of, is the game itself good or not?
Yeah.
More than anything, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to say a game is great by virtue of it just being a community game that costs you nothing, because that should not be the bar we review games on or recommend games on. It doesn't cost anything, so what can you lose? It's like, no, but I also don't want to waste time.
Yeah. Now there are also like other things where it's like official stuff getting led to more critique and criticism and whatnot than fan stuff. Because they're like, oh, well, there's a corporation backing this. It should be perfect. Da, 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 da. Meanwhile, the fans are making this in a cave with a box of scraps. But but that's neither here nor there. Somehow this all like goes back to High Guard.
The punchline is Jeff Keighley. I fucking hate this man.
Anyway,
we got a High Guard mention counter for the community, like for 2026 specifically. All right. Moving on. We got Blah6 is asking, John, anything you want to rant about right now? Get your frustrations out, rant about a really stupid plot point, whatever you want. No, I think we're already just ranted enough about the community aspect of like, shitheads using that as a discussion to just fucking bash officially released games over just praising their community aspect of the game without really considering the context of everything around them, because people are stupid, and I wish people had better media comprehension. If we want to talk about something that I wish people would, I wish people knew how to read. And not even so much knowing how to read.
No, knowing how to read, like read the card text, motherfucker.
So I wish, and I'm not gonna point any fingers because but I also don't want to be generalized to the point where it just feels like an old man yelling at cloud. I wish people had more initiative to solve the fucking problem themselves. Let's put it that way. There are countless times where I see somebody asking something about this or that, and it's like, fucking Google it. For Christ's sake, Google it.
But Google's been poisoned by AI.
I don't give a fuck. There are YouTube tutorials on everything that you want done. Just fucking do it. And it's like this, like the time you are wasting waiting for some Joe Schmo to answer your goddamn question, you could have been taking the time to learn how to do it yourself. At what point do you start valuing your time and learning how to develop a fucking skill instead of just having someone else do it for you? Now, it's like, it depends on what's being asked, obviously. It's like, oh, my fucking water main pipe bursted. It's like, I should learn how to fix a pipe. Like, no, you call a professional to get that done for you. My HVAC machine is making weird noises. I better look up a YouTube video about this. It's like, no, I think you're better off getting a professional. But
only if you're comfortable.
Yeah. It's like, but if we're talking about like something involving some like computer software or how to utilize a program or something that can easily be looked at in YouTube tutorials. Like, and I understand sometimes it's like the idea of sitting on your ass and getting ready to ingest a tutorial video. It feels like you're back in school. You don't want to go back to school. You're finished school, or at least you're still in school. And I don't want to spend my time at home in school, if that makes any sense. But it's also like, this is how you develop skills. You develop skills by taking the effort of sitting down and you shut the fuck up and you absorb what's being told to you. You become a better human being, an individual that can do multiple things, becomes reliable, and becomes, hey, that's just Jason down the street. He knows shit to do. You can ask him for advice or help and regard that because you took the time and effort to develop those fucking skills. And I think this is something that we're slowly losing because everyone now is just fucking putting in the chat GPT shit. Let someone else do it for you. Give me the answers without really absorbing the information that you're processing, if the information is even correct in the first place. That's a whole other fucking set of things that we can talk about later. But it's like,
say that convenience creates skill gaps.
Yeah, it's like, I get it. School's dull. School can be dull, especially like if you fucking ADHD brain, like you just want to fucking die. I get it, man. But there is a reason why it's dull. There's a reason why they put all that information in your head, is because they just want you to develop critical thinking skills and become a better person. Because you have to be able to, like in the world outside of school, you have to be able to apply yourself. And if you're not able to apply yourself, then you're just sitting down existing, and don't exist. Be somebody. Don't just sit there and let everyone else do the work for you. Be somebody, because I have more respect for somebody than nobody. I feel I can go on for a lot longer than that, but I'm also just gonna kind of run in circles. And it's like, it's in part why I a long time ago I was humoring the idea of becoming an art teacher, is because I wanted to help bring more attention to the arts, because it's something that was lacking in public schools especially. And obviously I didn't go down that route, but I think fundamentally
2020, thank God you did it.
But fundamentally I have this mindset where it's like I want someone to be able to grow by applying skills that they honest to God took the time to learn, instead of having just this or that thing do the work for them, because you're not learning at that point. Now there are exceptions to this, obviously, because I fucking hate math. I'm going to use that calculator as much as I fucking want. I'm not going to learn long division because I don't need to. Neener. But I think for literally everything else, it is important for you as a human being to develop the skills you need by taking the effort to do it, and not just have someone do it for you. Because again, you don't do that. Like, you don't learn anything from that. And I know, like, this is something you likely have heard a million times before. I'm not telling you anything new, but I think it needs to be hammered in repeatedly, just so that you don't forget.
Yeah. No, like me and like Ian and Lack were talking about this earlier this morning, where I'm like, yeah, it's so fucking frustrating that, like, we used to be a society where you actually went out of your way to learn shit. Like, people,
this country used to build railroads.
People maybe not, maybe they don't know how to, like, completely change out an axle on a car or whatever, like back in the day, but they knew how to change a tire. They knew how to check their oil. They knew how to, change their lights and stuff. Meanwhile, today you have something that's similar of, let's say, changing out the analog stick on a Joy-Con.
Yeah.
Right? That's a super easy process.
Yes.
And it's like a $5 part. But people are just instead tossing that out and buying another $80 controller because convenience.
Yeah, there's the convenience factor.
I think that convenience has killed skills.
Yeah.
Anyway,
absolutely. Yeah, it does kind of bridge into something that we've talked about earlier. Absolutely right. And there is cause and correlation between that. You're absolutely right. But it's like, again, like, if you're listening to this now, and it's like, if there's something that you're genuinely, honest to God, curious about, or at least you need help with something, see what you can learn about it for yourself first. Get proper context for what the issue is, and maybe you can find a way to develop a means of solving the issue yourself. And if it doesn't work, then that's when you start asking for help. But I think,
like, nothing grinds my fucking gears more than whenever like my parents or something, they're like, oh, well, you're too smart to be doing the job that you do or whatever.
Yeah.
You're too smart, you should be going and doing something else. I'm like, I'm not smart by any means. I just actually fucking try. Yeah,
like, and that's the fact, and the fact that you think that is intelligence. Just no, it's not intelligence. It's logic. Yeah, I personally look at it that way. First off, Blazing Knight 50, thank you for the raid party of 9. Much appreciated. I hope your stream was fine and dandy, like cotton candy. I don't know what the hell you're playing, but we're in the middle of the community Q&A sort of thing. So stay on board. Just want to hit an interesting conversation. You just want to get the fuck out and eat dinner. It's already 7 o'clock, dude. What the fuck? Jesus, fuck, dude. Anyway, all right. So let's move on, guys. I feel like we've been on this for a while. Master G427 is asking, hey John, just recently beaten Final Fantasy X super bosses for the very first time, the Dark Aeons and Penance. Can't wait to hear you talk about them on your 10 review eventually. I'm going to Master G. I'm going to give you a heads up. I'm really not going to spend a lot of time on them because I'm not even sure if I'm going to be playing International for the review, because what does International have of any notoriety outside of the Extra Sphere grid? I think the Dark Aeons and Penance are garbage fucking bosses.
America.
So anyway, I've been wanting to ask this question since I missed your last Q&A session. What are your thoughts on the reveal of Dragon Ball Super Beerus and Dragon Ball Super The Galactic Patrol with the Moral Arc? So we talk about this beforehand and in some previous streams, but I'm pretty excited that Super is continuing, because I figured that was only just a matter of time after the Universal Tournament arc. And I know Super
only
has
like 9 years.
yeah, like and the manga has still been going on. And I know the manga has its own problems, but I also think maybe the anime can use this opportunity to maybe fix shit that people didn't like about the manga story. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. So the fact that Dragon Ball is just continuing is always good because I'm a Dragon Ball fan and I like to see the series that I really like continue on. People get to experience it again. Dragon Ball Super Beerus though, I don't know how I accurately feel about it because the beginning of Super was not great. The animation budget was all over the fucking place. It was clearly rushed to meet a schedule, and we got a lot of great screen grabs of frames that are just like, why does Goku look like that?
Yeah.
Also,
we already had a movie.
We had Resurrection F and we had Battle of the Gods that already act as a great starting point to the Supers, because you really can just watch Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F, and then you can start your Super adventure with like the Goku Black stuff, right? That's where it starts, right? I think that's where you can pick up because you miss the fucking what the fuck is the name of Beerus's brother? Was it? I'm already blanking on the big dude's name. Champa. Yeah, it's Champa. Yeah, thank you. You could just start there, and you really wouldn't miss much if you just Beerus and Pretzelus
and Jesus.
Oh, he really is a god of destruction. So the fact that they're doing Beerus again, it just reeks of redundancy that I don't really think we needed, because the Battle of the Gods movie, I think, is more than fine. It's also short. It's a movie rather than like a series of episodes. At the same time, given the teaser trailer that I've seen for it and how much they're retreating the original episodes to be more in line with what Dragon Ball looks nowadays, I can't help but think that I'm pretty excited for it, because I would like to see obviously how the series looks now as opposed to when Super originally debuted over 10 years ago. No, it's been over 10 years at this point. Yeah, it's been well over 10 years at this point. And I'm always down for more Dragon Ball, but at the same time, I also want the focus to be on stuff that hasn't already been done. And to me, Beerus has already been done twice. 3 times if you count the manga. No, actually not the manga, because the manga is also very abbreviated too. The manga tells you to fucking watch the movies. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but either way, like I'm just happy to see Dragon Ball continue, because I love Dragon Ball. I'm always gonna love Dragon Ball. Although sometimes I can be really slow. I just finished Daima a month ago. All right. Chaos Alex 1997 is asking, are there any songs in video games do you think that are great to listen to, but they just loop too quickly? One of the biggest examples I can think of is this song here, is the final boss from the Super Nintendo Aladdin game. It's ominous, yes, but it's too short. Now, are we talking like Jun Sano, I can't compose more than 8 seconds worth of damn sort of short? Yeah, there we go. This is the final boss music from Aladdin right now. I'm surprised they got away with it, honestly. Do you remember when Jafar is ranting about phenomenal cosmic power while the seizure procedure theme is going off in the background?
Like, I fucking hate going super. Was it super hyper that you had that issue?
Well,
both.
Well, the music you played in the music is just that's just the invincibility theme.
Invincibility theme, yeah.
But Supersonic themes. Supersonic only had a unique theme in 2.
Okay.
And it wasn't until Sonic 4 where they brought back the unique theme. And then at that point, I don't know, like it's they normally just use the invincibility theme.
Oh, he was supposed to have one apparently.
For what?
In Sonic 3.
Oh, in terms of like
super prototype.
Oh, is it in the prototype? That's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, and then they use it for Blue Spears and Origins because fuck you.
Oh yeah, Link's Awakening's the power up sort of thing, because when you get the pizza power, it just went like it's this very percussion heavy thing, but it only lasts like 2 seconds. God damn it! I'm trying to think of like a song that I great listen to, but just looped too quickly. God, I feel like there's so much I can. I was kind of hoping that was just the song right there. It was just that chime and that's it. Yeah, this is like the Piece of Power theme from Link's Awakening. Like it's catchy. It perfectly supplements a power that only lasts for a short amount of time, but I also feel it loops too fucking quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, you know what? Theme that immediately comes to mind, even though I love this theme to death. Well, I got Castlevania on the mind. The first game, the end of the first game, the theme that plays when you're climbing the staircase and you're fighting Dracula, it's called Nothing to Lose. It has a great build-up. It's like once it gets to the it loops. Yeah. Oh, but this is the Harmony of Despair version. I love this one. No, keep playing that. Don't you fucking you tease. It was about to get to the best part. Oh, I love how hard it drops in Harmony of Despair, dude. Yo, but like that's a great theme, but right there now it's just in a 3-second loop. Great song. It loops too fast though.
Oh, what was you said the original?
Yeah, the original on the NES. Let me pause the lo-fi music. Dun, dun. Now at this point it loops, and it's like 4 seconds tops. And this is the entire thing that plays when you're fighting Dracula. You know, well, Dracula's first form, because when you get to the Cookie Monster form, it switches to a more hectic theme, but that also loops really fast.
Yeah,
they're great themes. They just loop too fast.
Yeah, this is the equivalent of like the fucking staircase in 64. Yeah,
Belmont climbing the endless staircase because he doesn't know how to backwards long jump. Okay, let's continue on here. Adam, hey, I get to ask a question again now that I'm subbed. So my question for you is this: if you had the ability to create and control one element, what would it be? Probably water, because you can do a lot with water.
Water and water and water.
I never go thirsty again. I can kill my enemies by drowning them. Basically, anything that you can probably do with Avatar waterbending, I would love to have access to. The element of surprise, and it crashes through your ceiling. But I think if we're talking just strictly, yeah, it's like I think out of all the elements that we normally associate with like in fiction or just the discussion, I would say water is probably the most versatile that you can probably control. I mean, fire burns, but that's kind of all fire does. Water is literally the essence of life.
But fire's kind of cool though.
The fire is cool. I'm not gonna lie, but fire, you use it to burn stuff. You use it to cook stuff. And I guess if you're into thermo energy, where you're trying to thermodynamically charge something, you can use it in that aspect. But I feel it's still not as expansive as being able to control water.
Air. Then fine, it'll be air.
Be air?
Yes, because with air, I can condense the air and make it water.
Oh, okay, but counterpoint,
and
once it becomes water,
it's
something that you can no longer control.
Yeah, but I can control the air around the water. Which
wouldn't mean anything if it's a if it's a huge body of water. I don't think no matter amount of air shifting would be able to move an ocean.
I don't know, it just depends on like how far you can control air. And then like
for sure.
You can like make winds so strong that they can create friction to cause burns.
Okay.
There's like bullshit ways you can apply science to airbending.
Yeah. But I think you can have even more bullshit with waterbending.
Also, you can always just say fuck you in the fight by just removing the oxygen in the environment. Or
you can control the water in someone's blood and control them like a puppet and have them punch themselves. You could literally just do the stop hitting yourself shit.
I guess, but it's funnier to collapse their lungs instantly.
I think it's funny for them to kicking them in their own balls. Like, personally speaking, there is something very final about collapsing their lungs. You're absolutely right about that. There's no time to bullshit. Fuck you. Your lungs are gone. You're gone. For sure. But it's also like I like the idea of having someone kick their own dick. But anyway, we're gonna move on there. Thank you for the question, though, Adam. Aliz Rashi. I think that's Aliza Rashi. Maybe that's how I pronounce the name. Sajan, I found you years ago from the Chimney Swift Minecraft animated shorts when I was a kid. Holy fuck, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
2014, 2013.
I always wondered, do you remember making those, and do you still talk to this day? I still have the project files for those animations. I never delete project files for animations that I make. And I still have the video archives of those videos on my projects hard drive in my closet. Yeah, I still remember making those, and I haven't talked to Chimney Swift in a long time, like over a decade at this point. But we didn't really leave on bad terms. It was just more like he shifted priorities outside of Minecraft because Minecraft was kind of on the way out around that time. At the very least, its popularity was starting to wane. I'm not sure what Minecraft stands nowadays because I don't really care for Minecraft.
It's Roblox now.
It's Roblox. Yeah, I think at this point Roblox is the new Minecraft, but it's like also way larger than Minecraft, and there's a lot more child predators too, from my understanding.
Looking over it, Chimney Swift has not put out a video in 2 years.
Okay, yeah.
So I think they're out of the game.
I think they're out of the game, but they were already like dipping their toes into other venues when the last cartoon that I made for them, because I think he told me that himself, But from my personal interactions, he was a sweet dude. He was very responsive to feedback. He knew exactly what he wanted, and then I gave him an idea or suggestions for this, and he was like, yeah, absolutely, just do that. And I liked having that sense of freedom. But at the same time, it was also like I started, as my channel started to grow, I had less time to start working on freelance animations, which is why I stopped doing it.
Oh my God.
Well, what's up?
I sorted by most popular on their channel. The first 30 videos are all Minecraft, except for the #1 video. Guess what that is?
What is that?
Sonic Generations, episode 14, Sonic versus Shadow.
God damn it! You can't keep getting away with this!
It's always Sonic, man.
No, but I gotta say that's really rare that's how you found me. It's like normally people would just find me through the review channel. They found me through Brain Scratch. They found me through the Twitch streams. But no, you found me through a completely different channel that I used to make animated shorts for. And I'm happy to see here because that's very interesting to me. I'm glad to see that people were able to see. I was able to have a larger platform for my animation work, more than what I would ever do for my personal channel, at least back then. Because I'm pretty sure if I made a cartoon, like a full cartoon, if I had the time for it, it would reach a wide enough audience because people love cartoons. Like I know people love their cartoons, but it's also like cartoons really fucking take a long time to make.
You heard it here first, folks. The Some Call Me Johnny cartoon pilot's going to be airing on Glitch Productions.
I don't know what that is.
A Digital Circus.
Oh, okay. That's something else I never watched. I know it's kind of the tangent. They're not really. That's a tangent. But
yeah.
All right. Let me see here. Naka is asking, what's the funniest tangent you can recall from co-host that you walked into out of context? This has to be Linky related, because Linky is always saying something fucking off kilter that I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? You guys would probably know this more than I would, but I don't immediately recall. Actually, no. Actually, maybe the example is closer than I think, because I'm thinking about like the opening session of Shadowbringers in 14, because when I started streaming Shadowbringers, my friend Alex was visiting around that time, and she and Nora decided to be shitheads and started to be gremlins about zinc. I'm not going to give you full context about that, but I think I was taking a break. Like I got up from my chair to get some water or at least refill my coffee. And when I came back down, they were giggling about stuff that I don't know what they were talking about. And I think it was because of the fucking zinc tater that we went into. I love Alex. I love Nora. They're some of my best friends. But sometimes it's also like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying. Come back, Zinc! Come back! See, I put the gun in my head, but I can't because the Zinc's gone. So I would say probably a more recent example, but if I'm thinking about previous streams, it's more often than not Linky is talking about something that I don't quite have the full context for, and just like, what can I do except react to this? Nintendo 2000 asking, is it cool that I know your secret identity? Oh yeah, about that. I have to kill you now. Besides League of Legends, are there any other games you're dead set on never reviewing / playing? You know, just in case no one bullies you into reviewing. Deadlock when its hype starts accelerating. Okay. I don't know what Deadlock is.
It's a MOBA, but also a shooter.
Okay. I'm already
it's
soft.
really weird in that regard, but it's made by Valve.
Okay.
And like it's doing numbers, and that's the weird part because like the game is invite only.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe a lot of people are playing it. Then just wait.
Like,
who invites who
on Steam?
Do the devs invite the players, or can players invite other players?
Players can invite other players.
Okay,
like
well,
first it was devs inviting players.
Yeah,
and then it spiraled out of control.
Well, yeah, because you know that's how it works. So 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, etc., etc., etc. That's literally all it works. All you need is 1, and then it just becomes many.
Yeah, like it's not even correctly listed on Steam.
Yeah,
right now.
But to answer your question, Nintendo, I mean, League was the big answer. I'll never touch Roblox. I'll never touch. I mean, do people even give a fuck about? Are people still doing Raid Shadow Legends sponsors even anymore?
Yes.
Are they? Okay, because I feel I don't really hear that anymore. I would never touch that game, let alone do a sponsor for it, because like even I don't give a fuck how much they pay me unless they like take care of. If it paid for my house, I'd do it. But I wouldn't touch that game, not even for a bit, because I just, again, I don't want to be disingenuous. Like I would like to take effort to play something that's off like completely out of my comfort zone or element, but at the same time, there's got to be an initial interest or a curiosity there outside of just getting a paycheck.
Yeah.
No, I think
Uncharted's never happening.
No, because I don't need a sponsor to play. Oh no, okay, it would help if I got a sponsor for Uncharted. But there is an intrigue with Uncharted because of people's anticipation for it. You know, there's not an anticipation for Raid Shadow Legends, not anticipation for Roblox, because my community wants something to do with those games either.
Yeah.
So it's like, why the fuck would I do that? So yeah, I think of the non-league answers, it's Roblox and like Raid Shadow Legends. Outside of that, it's really just the vibes I get from looking at this game. And if I don't like the vibes, then I'm likely not going to humor it unless they pay for my house, because I have a degree of shame. It's what keeps me human. But hopefully that answers your question. Versatile is asking, yo John, been watching the Smash Bros. Playlist series for SGB for the 100th time, and recently got into holy shit, dude, I'm just thinking about that. You going back to like the original Smash Brothers stuff on SGB? Our microphones are so shitty. And recently got into playing Project Plus or Project M for Brawl for the first time. It's been updated with a lot of cool stuff. I was wondering if you guys were to revisit Smash Bros. For SGB with Uncle, would you guys want to give it a shot? I would love to go back and re-record old Smash Brothers stuff with the entire group. I want to go back and record Smash 64 and Melee and Brawl for that matter. We still need to follow up on Ultimate though, because when we did the Ultimate videos, that's before all the DLC was finally out. And now the game has gotten considerably more updates since then. Actually, when was the last Smash Brothers video for SGB? I know it was Ultimate.
The last Smash update was like what, 2 or 3 years ago?
2 or 3 years ago, yeah. I want to go back to I want to go back and redo those because I really like the Smash Brothers stuff that we did for SGB, because it's just fun, you know, no holds barred nonsense. I would want to do it as a dedicated campaign. Basically the same with the way we handled the Mario Kart 8 Booster Deluxe courses. Because legit, I know I've said this time and time again, the Mario Kart 8 Booster Pack videos that were recorded for SGB like 2 years ago, I think at this time, are legit some of my favorite fucking videos we've ever recorded for SGB. If only because it was just so fun seeing everyone in some form or fashion getting tilted, especially Elliot.
It was 5 years ago.
It was 5 years ago for the last Ultimate video that we did. Okay, that's been long enough.
No, not that.
What?
Sora releasing in Smash.
Oh, okay, that was 5 years ago. Holy shit, god damn.
Holy shit, it's been 5 years
Yeah.
since the last DLC character. God damn.
You know. So I think we're overdue to revisit Smash, and I want to go back to Ultimate, but I would also like to redo the older Smash games too, because again, our equipment is not fucking potatoes now, and I think we've grown considerably as commentators since then. But you be the judge of that.
Yeah,
but I would love
Smash
to do
Ultimate turned to 8 this year, by the way.
Yeah, that oh, holy shit, dude! Honest to God, doesn't feel that long,
right?
But in regards to like mods and all that, like Project M, I wouldn't be against that either, as long as it's easily accessible. And I think it is. Like I think with a bit of know-how, I can easily get Project M running again.
Greg, are you gonna get crushed at the Titanfall factory?
No, because we're actually getting ready to record Titanfall too.
Just make sure that you don't get like fucking. I'll let you find out for yourself.
Yeah. But yeah, we're meeting up next Sunday physically for another SGB session, and we're going to be talking. Our uncle is looking forward to playing Titanfall 2, which I never played.
Game.
Yeah, like I've heard. I just that I've humored the first game. I didn't beat it, but I humored a bit of it because I like the idea behind it, but I didn't really play it longer than maybe an hour. So I'm interested to see what exactly it is I've been missing out on. That should be fun. It's also good to just like be a part of an SGB playthrough where I don't have to fucking play the game, because that means I can actually talk and engage in conversation. But anyway, what is it? It's close to 7:30. We'll take a couple more questions before we wrap up tonight's session. Francis of the Filth is asking, would you ever consider doing a boomer shooter video or videos maybe with Elliot? Well, I did Doom like 2 years ago. There are a lot of games that made it very well, and I feel it could be a good time, especially with the streams. Well, the idea when I go back to Doom with 2016 Eternal and Dark Ages was to have Elliot involved with one of those games. I'm not entirely sure which one though, because I think out of the three, Elliot loves Dark Ages the most. He fucking played the shit out of Dark Ages for a time. And I know for a fact those the more modern Doom games are some of his favorite fucking shooters, like, of all time. And I love when Elliot is super invested in something, because it clearly reflects on his opinion, on his inflection, on his delivery, on how he wants to talk about this. And I want to get him involved in that, Again, to mention again, this year's the Versus Series 15th anniversary, and I want to pay respects to everything that people like about the Johnny Versus stuff. And I think it would be apt for Elliot to be involved in that in some form or fashion, like to join me for a review. And I think I want to go, when I go back to Doom, I want Elliot to be a part of that, because I know Elliot will have a lot to talk about. And also, Elliot has just gotten so much better at script reading than like 15 years ago.
I humbly request.
What do you got?
For the 15th anniversary videos.
Yeah.
For one of them, you have the fire, the smoke detector chirp throughout the video. that were
required to deliberately. How would I drain the battery enough?
No, you don't have to do that. Just put like a video of like.
No,
smoke detector. Like,
it has to be the actual smoke detector. People will know if it's not the real thing. That's not the smoke. That's not his smoke detector. He just put smoke detector low battery dot wave in the timeline. I know what I'm being yoinked.
Another big rigs review. It did get re-released.
Yeah. That's nice. Moving on to something else, though. By the way,
also, Greg asked any games tonight.
any gaming. It was as if I'm playing anything. No, because my Q&As are literally just dedicated to Q&As. I don't really do the thing that you do where you literally start a stream with like an hour of conversation, or at least close to an hour of conversation, and then you just go into a game. My things have to be segmented. I'm weird like that, where I can't just have a conversation bleed into a session because it's like, what was that VOD of John talking about this and that in a conversation? It's like, it's in the first hour of the Pokemon Generation Let's Play, but it like the beginning of the first hour is like a Q&A. An hour must have been a late news. Oh, Jesus Christ! All right, well, you see, but my point is that when I'm doing community Q&A, I like to keep it segmented from gameplay sessions. I just don't have it bleed into a playthrough session unless it's something I really just feel like don't like. I would do it for like a 14 roulette, but that's I rather just do that on my downtime. All right, but moving on. The Lone Otaku is asking, howdy ho, Johnny-O. So I spent the weekend volunteering at a local anime convention, and besides seeing a cornucopia of cosplayers, suspiciously wealthy furries in their natural habitat, I mostly got to help out in the retro game area. Retro, including the Wii, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3. It's been over 20 years, so they're retro. I don't know why we're retro. Yeah, we're not arguing this. They are retro. It was the first time I've seen most of these 4th to 6th generation consoles in person, and I'm guessing it was for the most of the attendees too. It was eye-opening seeing just how many people, kids and adults alike, don't think to use the start button to start video games these days. As well as often they skipped over Mario 1 for lost levels in the SNES All-Stars because Mario looks more like Mario on the cover. I fear for the future of humanity. So my question is, if you were introducing the average Joe / someone who doesn't really play video games to old video, let me repeat that question. If you were introducing the average Joe / someone who doesn't really play the video games to old video games, how far back would you go? Like, what console generation would you consider to be too old for people of today? Either because of design sensibility or just graphics. I would say the threshold is hard. I would say any. No, you think pre-HD? Maybe it's just the old man in me speaking. Well, not so old man. Like if it was old man, I would say don't. You can start with Pong. No. To me, no, because there are still games on the NES that I think that people can still play to this day. Like to me, Mario Brothers is timeless. It's antiquated, sure, in terms of its continue system. It's what you can do with Mario, moving left, right, and jumping, that sort of thing. So, but I still think it's more than playable. But I think
it's more than playable, but people these days will be like, isn't this for like old people?
But how would they know what old people are playing?
Because they see what retro shit is.
But they don't have the context of what retro shit is if they're literally just getting into it the first time.
I don't know. You can kind of, even if you don't really know anything about video games, you can kind of like peg what an old ass video game looks like.
I think it depends on just how young you are when you're exposed to it. Maybe that's what helped me. Well, then again, there wasn't much to be exposed to when I was a kid. But to me, the threshold that I won't cross is Atari, because I respect Atari, a 2600, or at least that generation. We're talking Atari, the ColecoVision, the Intellivision, all of those consoles around that time, before and after the crash of '83. Those are just too primitive for my liking. We did a couple of SGB SmackDown Sundays a couple of months ago where we were going back to some of the oldest Atari stuff, and there were some that I genuinely found pleasantly surprising to play. But it's like, would I genuinely go back to playing any of these outside of that context? And the answer is no, because I'm not really into the simplistic score attack nature of a lot of Atari games. Back in the day, I like a general sense of progression. I like going from point A to point B and seeing my adventures reflect that, which I feel a lot of Atari games around that era don't really do that. They're bite-size, in and out sort of games that you can experience like in an arcade. But to me personally, I think, okay, if you don't want to include the NES, if you still think that's too primitive, I think there's still reason enough to go at least start with like Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo. I just think there is. You have way more. You have an expansive library between those two major consoles, and I still think there's a lot that you can experience that to get an idea of like what gaming used to be, but also like get your foot in the door with just like fleshing out your video game experiences. And that's if you only have interest in the retro market. If you're not, then it's like
Maverick opinion here.
Go ahead.
Anything that's older than the Switch, do not introduce them to.
Really? Well, you did say Maverick opinion, but why do you immediately go with that? Out of curiosity.
Because the Switch is pretty friendly to get into.
Yes.
And you have NSO. So if they were really wanting to play something older,
okay,
NSO is going to introduce them to a highly curated assortment of good retro game.
Okay, so like, I mean, I can see the argument. Because it's not a question of accessibility. It's just a matter of
it's Maverick talking.
Yeah. Didn't we went on a discussion last night about the word Maverick? I'm trying to remember the conversation we were having. Was it Joe Stakes again? I'm trying to think. No,
it was Joe Stakes.
But I think let's assume that they were interested in the retro market and didn't have a Switch. Let's throw the Switch out the window. Don't actually, because that's expensive. I think I would go back as early as Super Nintendo, like me personally. But there's a bias there because I'm 38 years old, and that's where I technically started. So I think if I can start there, you can start there. But you know, the video game scene has changed so radically over the last 30 years that who can really say? How can I really say? Outside of what I personally,
Anyway.
All right. The Panda Hermit. Monkeys or seals? I'm feeling Splatoon nostalgia. Oh, are you talking about like for Splatfest? Monkeys. I got nothing against seals, but seals are just kind of there. They're adorable. I like looking at seals in the zoo, but monkeys are monkeys.
Monkeys will rip your face off.
Monkeys will rip their face off, but monkeys can climb trees. They can pick each other's asses. They can throw feces.
They can fling shit at you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but seals can't do that. As far as I'm aware.
Seals are just like big dogs.
I know, it's like everyone's quick to mention it's like monkeys rip your fucking face off, and I was like, yeah, but you know, I'm pretty sure seals can do some fucked up shit too. They don't talk about it because they're better at hiding it. You know where they do the fucked up shit? Underwater, where we can't see them. Huh? Convenient. But monkeys can be cute. Monkeys, I think, can be really adorable when they're not ripping your fucking face off or throwing shit at you. I like monkeys.
Bubbles.
Yes, what about them? All right, that one gaming guy 81 is asking, good evening, John. I recently just got my tickets for too many games and flying out to the East Coast for the first time. I was wondering what kind of advice could you give for someone who's never been to too many games?
Find something else to do.
Cash only, and don't go to too many. Okay. I would set a budget accordingly. I would take cash out. Don't use your card to buy stuff from like the digital vendors, because one, that can trip up your bank security, because I think the card scanners are registered to whatever the store owner's state is, and some people are coming from Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, Maryland. That's a bunch of different states all at once, and if they see your bank sees your transactional history jumping across these different states, they're gonna think something's wrong with your card, and they shut your card down, and now suddenly you can't buy anything. So I would say take some cash out, set a budget so that you don't go nuts, but also don't be stupid with your money. Like, you don't need the fucking $500 copy of Mega Man X3 on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, but also find something else to do.
Yeah, like outside of the convention, you know, you got shopping plazas around the surrounding area. You're not terribly far from the city. It's like 30 minutes, I want to say, give or take, to get to Center City, assuming you're driving. And I would say, like, obviously the point is the convention, but no, I would spend some time to separate yourself from the convention outside of lunch, like outside when you want to eat. Because I think your trip should be a little more fulfilling than just the convention that you're going to, even if you're really looking forward to it, you know, because the convention,
really not much.
The convention, well, I mean, but even then, it's like there is a lot, but a lot of that stuff also requires wait times where you're standing in line.
You have the booths. Mm-hmm. You have some panels, and this is only if the convention for that year even has the folks you want there. Yeah, where you can buy shit and hopefully not get ripped off. Yeah, the VR system stuff, which people are sweaty. And so there's just like one of the only real main events I liked with TMG was like the cosplay wrestling and stuff.
I don't know. I think it depends
really
on your
what
interest.
You should focus on with TMG really should just be hanging out with your friends.
Yeah, well, but it's always friend
something
con, though,
to do.
to be fair. And I think it really just depends on what kind of person you are heading into the convention and what you get out of your convention experiences. To me, as conventions are usually just friend con, I'm rarely going to panels. I'm rarely going. I'll hang out in the vendor area. Like I'll skim like through every fucking hallway through a convention's artist alley, you know. But I do generally take my time to go there because I like to support artists. Especially if I know someone that is actually setting up a booth there, I want to go say hi. I want to say hi to them. You know, I don't really get the chance to see them often, and I want to catch up. You know, to me, I get value in that. Also, tabletop stuff. Like I like playing tabletop games at conventions. I like playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I've been getting into Magic more. To mention that again. Do you necessarily need to be at a convention for that? No, but it's a nice convenient spot where everyone's there.
It's an excuse.
Yeah. And I think that in itself gives it value.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a good thing. Even though I hope you enjoy yourself. I'm still not sure how long I'm going to be at this year's TMG. No, the details have not been worked out yet. Normally I'm there all 3 days. But depending on what the guest list is like, if there's even room for me for this year, I'm not even sure if I'm going to be there all 3 days this year. Again, nothing's been set up. I know there's been some snafus regarding the World Cup games being hosted in Philadelphia this year. Well, we got some World Cup games being hosted in Philadelphia this year around the time too many games is happening. So there's a concern of hotel rooms being unavailable around that neck of the woods. So not that I would encourage panic buying or anything like that, but if you're looking to travel to too many games and get a room, you should probably jump on that sooner rather than later, because it's very likely the hotels are going to be completely booked if they haven't been booked already. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just sticking to MomoCon. It's closer.
Yeah, well, I do. MomoCon I'm looking for. The MomoCon I'm generally looking forward to this year because apparently there's a lot of people coming to MomoCon this year.
Yeah,
and that should be pretty fun.
Plus, don't they have an extra venue hall this year?
I think so. Oh boy, more walking.
I mean, but at the very least, it just means that there's more opportunity for more stuff.
Yeah. But fuck, everything's so long. It's so far apart. But you're not wrong. All right. Emil was asking, seeing how the new Castlevania game is being made by Motion Twin, I was wondering if it made it at all interested in trying out Dead Cells for your own time prior to Belmont's Curse. Not really. That's just something that I'm going to mention in passing when I am getting ready to look at the new game coming out this year. I'm gonna I'll mention in passing that I'm aware of who they are because I've seen the Castlevania stuff related to Dead Cells, but that doesn't necessarily make me immediately interested in Dead Cells. It's just that's actually really neat that them making the Castlevania stuff set precedents for them. Sorry, that's took me a while to get. It's cool that because the reception to the Castlevania stuff in Dead Cells, I'm assuming is the reason why they even got the job in the first place. It means that they've been given the control of making the brand new 2D Castlevania game. So that's pretty cool. I think that's really neat. But will that drive interest for me to actually playing Dead Cells itself? Not really, if I'm being real. It's just one of those, nah, I'm not interested. Paul, Serrana, Alicia Doan. Sorry, I fucking completely butchered that name. Hey John, been a fan of your Johnny Versus videos of the OG Mario games back when I was still in middle school, and I wanted to say I'm glad your channel has grown a lot since then. I hope you're doing well. As someone who thanks you and blames you for my Final Fantasy XIV addiction, I'm curious to know which Final Fantasy XIV expansion is your least favorite story-wise. Stormblood. I would say Stormblood, and it's not because I don't think the story is great. It's just that the story is obviously splintered. Not enough time is given to Alamigo, which is the entire reason why that expansion exists, and the liberation of Doma. It is clearly a balancing act that they fumble in the first few story bits, and the rest of the game is just picking up the pieces from there. Which is not to say that Stormblood is just a failure, like wholesale. No, I think Stormblood is still one of the better expansions because of all the content that was introduced. You can see that in the Stormblood archives over on the Stream Archive channel. There's a lot of sessions in that one. It's because Stormblood introduced a lot of shit. In regards to the content Stormblood introduced, I think it's fantastic. The story, though, was clearly though splintered and stitched together into one. Because I believe the Liberation of Alamigo and the Liberation of Doma were supposed to be two separate expansions, but they decided to make it into the same one, and that was a mistake. Dawn Trail, to an extent, suffers a similar issue, but not to the degree of Stormblood. I still think Stormblood is comparatively worse, but Dawn Trail suffers similar issues, and I'll be the first to say that Dawn Trail is not nearly as bad as people would say online. But I have my gripes with Dawn Trail story too, and a lot of it is because of the same shit that plagued Stormblood story. But Dawn Trail is also just a fantastic expansion content-wise as well. All right, so Lemon Heist is asking, we're probably going to make Technique 20s. Actually, no, we'll keep going. We'll go until like we get to Manny EGB question. For Johnny versus 15th anniversary, can you make Johnny Genesis video that's just your old Sonic 1 review, but really slow and shitty? You can just watch my Sonic Genesis SGB review. That's my Sonic 1 review, old but slow and shitty. So like I saved you time. You could just do that. Aren't I so considerate? You could just watch that. But genuinely though, no, that's fine. You guys could just watch Johnny vs. Sonic 1, and that's more than enough. Sun Gohan is asking, hello John, what is your favorite console generation? PlayStation 2. That is that 5th or is that 6th?
I think
that's 5th. I want to say it's 5th generation PlayStation, or was that 6?
PS2 was the 6th.
It's 6th generation, yeah. So PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox. If only because my horizons were expanded big time around that. Technically, the 5th generation PlayStation 1, N64, Sega Saturn stuff was also pretty important time period in my life as a growing video gamer. But I feel it's the PlayStation 2 era is where my preferences started to mature. And I knew wholesale what it is that I'm looking for in a video game for RPGs, platformers, hack and slash games, adventure games, action adventure stuff. I feel that is the time frame where I really started to get an idea of what it is I really like looking forward to as a gamer. So I would say around that time. Also, like the variety is out of this world. Like the PlayStation 2's library to this day, I still think is unmatched. Just in terms of just the kind of shit that you can get into it, from like the well-known published games to a lot of fucking niche shit that no one's ever heard of, but it was still a very experimental generation that I think just it's just very fascinating to look back. Technique or Tech is just asking, hey John, I was thinking about asking this for a while now. How are you feeling considering that this year you are getting both a new Castlevania Metroidvania game and the next Onimusha game on top of other games coming out this year? Well, I would like a release period on the Onimusha game, because is that game coming out? I don't know. Like I feel like the news for Onimusha kind of just dropped off the face of the earth, and maybe it's just because I haven't been paying attention. But I also feel like I just asked this question too, like in a more recent live stream series, but. All they just said was this year, right? I would like a more general time frame for the next Onimusha game, because I'm so desperately looking forward to the new Onimusha, because I love Onimusha. But I also think that the news of it has slowed down to a trickle, maybe because they're working on the finishing touches, or maybe they wanted to shift priorities to the thing. I would like to get an actual release date for the new line Onimusha game. I would also like to see. I would like to see Onimusha. I would like to see more Onimusha re-releases. I want Demon Siege and I want Dawn of Dreams to be re-released, because I think everyone should at least experience Demon Siege. Demon Siege is legit one of my favorite fucking games on the PlayStation 2.
There was a overview trailer a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So with the fact that there was that, it will most likely release sometime in the summer.
I'm thinking summer as well. Yeah, it's a safe bet. I hope it's good. Like, legitimately, I hope it's great so that people can give a shit about Onimusha. And, like, again, re-release Demon Siege and Dawn of Dreams. I don't think Dawn of Dreams is as good as Demon Siege, but Demon Siege is fantastic. Anyway, all right, we're going to end with Manny Yegbees. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Hey, John, hope your day is going well. I wanted to ask last time, but do you have a recommended PlayStation 3 HDMI converter / splitter? I'm trying to get one that blocks the stupid HDCP that the PS3 has built in. I tried other versions, but had not been successful. So the one that I use, actually, is it still here? Or did I put it back in the box? Because the Metal Gear Solid 4 streams, I had to use the splitter because I was recording off of that with genuine hardware. It's not here. Okay, actually, hold on. If you guys don't mind, I'm just gonna go in my box and get it real quick. I mean, I showed you the HDMI converter for the PlayStation 2, so I might as well be fair to the PlayStation 3.
I just used the fucking special Elgato cable. The Elgato HD60, the OG one. Cause with that one, it's like a special AV to component cable or whatever, and they're a bit pricey to grab. This is taking him a hot minute to find. Here to take a call from democracy. I want to play Helldivers tonight.
Okay, my splitter just fucking vanished. I don't know where it went.
Oh, that's funny.
But to quickly summarize, like, it's not that different from this. It just doesn't have the because this also works as a splitter. If you're curious, I don't like it as for a splitter because I feel like it gets a little weird with the. I fucking hate the built-in HTTP encryption to PlayStation 3. I genuinely do. But this also technically works as a splitter because it has a pass-through. But the one that I have for the PlayStation 3 specifically is a more dedicated HDMI splitter. Like, there's no RGA, there's no RCA inputs at all. It's just HDMI in, HDMI out. That also has an external power source. I want to stress that again. It is not just something that is using the power of whatever you're plugging into. It has its own external power source. So I would recommend, if you're going to get something that is just a more dedicated HDMI splitter, make sure it has its own external power source that you plug into a wall so that it's drawing power not from the console or the HDMI, or it's not relying on like I don't know how the fuck it works when it's just HDMI. But HDCP encryption, really quick, is just like the built-in sort of encryption of like a console to prevent you from recording directly from your console. Like it's to stop you from recording movies or live streams, or
it's just copyright protection. Think about it just like how whenever you like do a screen cap on a streaming service and it goes black.
Yeah,
it's that exact same concept except for the actual physical hardware.
Yeah, but on the PlayStation,
PS4 had it.
Yeah, the PlayStation 4 had it, but you can toggle it off.
There wasn't a toggle at the start.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. So that means that eventually it was patched. Interesting. Was they never did for the PlayStation 3. They never did for the
that was a patch. Well, I think PS3, that was like a hardware limitation.
That was a hardware limitation. Okay. Because damn, that was really fucking annoying in PlayStation 3. That's still annoying to this day. Every version of the PlayStation 3, their HDCP encryption are just built into the goddamn console, which means by default, you just can't plug in a HDMI capture card and expect it to work. Like if you use a component, it's fine. Like a component capture card, to mention like some of the older AverMedia models, some of the older Elgato capture card models, or Hauppauge or Hauppauge. Anything that uses component cables for capturing, that bypasses HDCP encryption. I don't know why, but it does. But HDMI, you gotta have a splitter, otherwise it's just not gonna fucking work, and it's really goddamn annoying.
It's even more annoying with 4K shit.
Yeah. Wait, how so more annoying with 4K shit? What do you mean?
Just better HDCP with the 4K standard.
Oh, okay. Is that why I sometimes get shit when I'm trying to like reduce the resolution at 1080p?
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking frustrating. But all right, well, that's where we're going to leave it off, guys. I do apologize for those a couple questions I couldn't get to the end here, but we have been going for well over 2 hours at this point. Actually, yeah, we've been going for over 2.5 hours. This is a lengthier than usual Q&A session, because sometimes when I ramble, I don't know when to shut the fuck up. But I want to thank everyone for just being a part of the conversation and being part of this. Again, I try to do this at least once a month, just so that I can, spend some time in chatting with you guys. I know I don't really hang out in the general chat in the community Discord. I'm primarily using the updates channel to let you guys know when I'm currently working on something, or when the next stream is going to happen, or updates regarding schedule changes because something happens behind the scenes, like my family, or something other that's out of my control and I have to deal with that. But I like to at least take this time to just chat with you guys. And hopefully answer some questions that you guys have been thinking about for some time. And if it's not now, then you can just always wait until later for a follow-up, or just have for another a decent conversation. So I want to thank everyone for being a part of this. What the fuck are you posting? The splitter here we have is the view. Oh, is the splitter upstairs, Elliot? Because I'm noticing that you're posting this. Okay, the splitter's upstairs. All right, so Elliot's actually posting. Upstairs? Yeah, because what the fuck was someone using the PlayStation 3? I don't recall. But if the splitter is up, Elliot searched it. Okay,
he searched and he searched and he searched and he searched.
I'm hearing Johnny say, "Bet you." Okay, well, hopefully that answers your question. Thank you, Elliot. I appreciate you following up on that one. We are going to find someone to raid. Let's see if any of my mutuals are online. Almost someone always is online right now. We are going to raid.
Belle is online.
Belle's online, but my friend Boa is also online. Let me see if she is doing anything NSFW real quick.
I was about to say, isn't that the titty one?
That's my friend, first off. And yeah, her knockers are huge.
I mean, as far as the VTuber model.
Yeah, the VTuber model. Yeah, but she's my friend first and foremost.
Well, every VTuber has their thing, okay?
Yeah, okay,
sometimes it's titties, sometimes they are CRT head.
But she is my friend first, and big titty VTuber
your
model.
Friend.
Yeah. No, she's a sweetheart. I'm happy to know her as a friend. She is a genuine sweetheart, and I'm happy to know her. But we're gonna go.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Jesus Christ.
But we're going to raid Boa. Yeah, we're gonna do a makeup rate for last time because last time we kind of embarrassed her because she was in the middle of doing her fucking subscription bit where she was a foot.
That the feet one?
It was the foot one. Yeah, she transformed her model into a foot, and we just happened to rate her while she was doing that, and she was like, "John, I'm gonna fucking kill you." I was like, "I didn't know you were doing that."
I mean, it's not an ad or get associated with 9/11 on accident with Shinpai's video.
Okay, well, wait, why don't you say now? We don't want you sleeping on the couch tonight. Nora's the one that introduced me to Boa. Sometimes you can see, you can hear when I'm doing the Final Fantasy 14 streams. One of the other girls you hear in the chat is Boa. If it's not Nora, it's Alex or it's Boa. Safe bet. Anyway, send Boa my love, everybody, and give her a follow or a subscription, if you will. Tell her John sent you. I will catch you guys later this week with more Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers. And when the Castlevania Order of Ecclesia video is done, we will start our Dragon Ball Z Kakarot adventures live on Twitch as well. And I'm really looking forward to that as well. I hope you guys are too. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.